There. What? There we are. Oh, yeah, welcome. Should be started? Yep, we see that. Back to A New Sun Rises, our adventures in Middle Earth. After a couple weeks off for holidays and other reasons. And we are going to start with some exciting news from around the kingdom.
As you do.
And it's always exciting news.
Well, so, I don't know if this sets off any warning bells for you, but you guys are in Gondor, and you've now heard that, like, the King of Gondor went off to, like, find the honor of Gondor, something about the White Tree, and he left the steward in charge.
Why?
It's okay, he'll be right back.
I guess I can understand, abdicating your responsibilities to go on some adventure, but unless you got a really, really good reason, like, I don't know if I approve of that sort of thing.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. But the next thing of note is that it seems like someone's been breeding large wild wolves in the wilderness up there in the Northlands, and a whole pack of like 500 wolves just rode? They don't ride. Ran into Rudar. And it's caused a bit of a problem for those border warden rangers. And so we're going to start with that with a little bit of mass combat between rangers and wolves.
Oh, shit.
We all know how this normally goes, because you've met a ranger and you've met a wolf, but there's a lot of wolves, so...
Yeah, it'll be cakewalk for them.
Well, Kellyanne, you get to be Arthidane for this, because you're our Arthidane person.
What? Oh, God. Can I take that back?
No pressure.
So all you have to do is roll really good.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, it's great.
That's no big deal, right?
Just gotta be conservative.
Do we remember how many bad rolls I had last game? It was pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like 500 wolves versus like a dozen or so rangers. Like piss 4 odds for the wolves.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. What do I do?
Okay, so I've done the math, and because of various things, mostly the rangers being outnumbered, they're only ahead by 9 points in battle rating.
God.
Jesus.
So it's pretty much a toss-up how this is going to turn out.
Ton of wolves.
That's a lot of
It's going
wolves.
to come down to the rolls.
So you're going to need to roll percentile dice, 1 to 100 there, Kellyanne. And we'll see how the wolves do.
Okay.
Now, the last two battles I've rolled really badly, so the odds are, right, that I'm going to roll better this time around.
Oh, okay.
So no pressure.
I know. Okay, that's not bad.
I mean,
Okay.
if Aaron can do it.
Yeah. All right. Is it my turn or your turn?
I've already rolled, so I'm just waiting for you. What do you got?
I got an 84.
84. Well, that is higher than what I got. So with your 9 points, that gives you a 25-point positive against the wolves.
Oh, good.
That's
nobody died?
It's 10% casualties among the rangers and 30% among the wolves, but the wolves are routed and driven back to Rudar.
Woo!
Make a note.
I mean, 10% is not the worst.
That's about 15 rangers.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Well, and you've got the field of battle, so it's actually only about 5%. So you lost maybe 10 people to the horde of 500 wolves. That's not too bad.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of wolves.
On the other hand, the wolves were mostly run off rather than killed, right? You're still looking at somewhere around 350 wolves roaming the wilderness somewhere.
Oh.
Okay, that's somebody else's problem.
And by somebody else's problem, I think we mean the Shire, but
Well, I mean, the guy who's the head of the Shire seems like a badass with his frying pan, so I think he's got it.
I believe Marcho and Blanco can defeat about 150 wolves by themselves, but that still leaves 200 to go.
Easy.
They're going to need only so many brute squads they can take out, or wolf squads.
Great.
Wolves could be brutes.
So, see, and Marco is in chat, ready to be excited about all the wolves potentially coming his way.
Right.
You got it, little buddy.
You got it.
Okay, the other thing, as we well know Allred, that the Eothrame have decided to send the Osbriags a message, and they're continuing that. And it's getting worse. We have 3 tribes of the Eothrame now battling 4 tribes of the Osbriags out there in the Dorwinium Plains.
Oh, good odds then.
Actually, you do in fact outnumber the Eothrame, although somewhat fatigued from the last battle. Outnumber the Osbriags, yes. That was it.
Wait a minute.
I did say the wrong thing. But as it turns out, you guys are pretty even in general, so numbers are pretty important. And they're in their home country, and you've got some fatigue, so you only have a 12-point advantage going into dice rolling.
Okay.
So let's see how you do.
Oh gosh, I'm so nervous now. Great, cool. Uh-oh, that's not a great roll.
Oh, could we have our first loss of the good side?
Well, I rolled a 12.
Ooh.
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine because my number only started with a 7. Oh wait, okay.
Wait.
Started with a 7.
So yeah, I beat you by 59 points. Which means the Osbriags are going to win the day. I'm doing a little bit of math here.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Oof.
Sorry, Jen.
Yeah, that wasn't a great roll.
Yeah, the Osbriags take no casualties for that one.
Whoops.
Oh.
I think you're fired, Alred.
I think so.
As the battle goes
Survived.
poorly, now the good news is Eothrame don't take a lot of casualties either.
Oh, okay. Good.
But they do take some. And more importantly, are driven back out of the lands after 2 bloody fights that basically leave things about where they are when the fighting started.
Whoops.
Yay!
Welp.
They like
So they
war
attacked.
over there.
When you attacked. Yeah, okay.
You guys don't know exactly what's going on over there in the east, but definitely there is some fighting. And it looks like the Easterners were not completely overrun by the Eothrame this time around. Okay, well, with that, we can step into our adventuring party. Excited because I get to recap where we left you, right? And where we left you was by the side of the road, carrying a man-sized giant spider.
Yep.
It sounds about right.
I don't know how I'm helping, but I'm cheering everybody on.
I mean, we do need that support. Thank you, Willid.
That's right.
Willid.
With
What the Cracker Jacks? I give up,
Is anybody
guys.
hurt?
I mean, my pride.
No, actually, I think I'm good.
I think you guys did a pretty good job of not getting hurt too much by the spiders. Maybe it was
Yeah,
I think Rob
Gundyr.
got hit.
I got bit twice.
Oh, yeah. No,
Want
I'm
me to
fine.
take a look at those?
I mean, if you want to,
Gundyr.
it's fine. It
I
doesn't hurt.
probably should.
I mean, I can't feel it, but it doesn't hurt.
I feel like
Is that
those
because
are
it's
mutually
numb?
exclusive.
It's okay.
Come here,
When
buddy.
the wounds turn green, that means they're healing.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the skin starts to slough off. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just making way for the new skin.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
Making way for the new
That's how that works.
Oh,
Just like a snake.
somebody out there believes that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's that's sad.
Look, it'll be fine. Just put some aloe vera on it.
Aloe what?
It's fine.
Okay,
Oh.
so if you remember, your plan, the reason you did this was to return the spider to Saruman so it could better help his studies
Yeah.
and help answer things. So you're dragging it back to Minas Ithil, which is not very far away. I mean, it's pretty close to where the stair comes down, where you all are. And you head that direction towards town. It's getting near dark. It took you most of the day to head up there, up and down the stair. So you're looking forward to that inn that you have tonight.
Might just beeline it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll let us stay there tonight.
I don't see what the
You
problem
mean-
is.
Not with the spider? You can just put it in the
Spider gets
stables, right?
Just tie it up.
It is already tied up.
Tie it up some more.
No. We'll just continue.
Yeah, let's just go straight to what's his face?
Yeah.
That seems solid. You get to town, and there's the gate you have to go through because Minas Ithil is a military town, right? It's on one of the watches of Mordor. And there's the guards there. They were there last time as well. But this time, as you approach, the guards seem to look at you and talk to each other, and then a whole group of them comes down to meet you at the gates.
Who's good at lying?
We don't need to lie. We were sent by Saruman to get a spider. We got a spider. We're going back to Saruman. That's what he asked for.
It
Who's
is
good
what
at making that sound believable?
I point over at our elvish friend.
All of us.
It is believable. That's what he said.
It is believable. That's what he said.
Right, they're gonna be glad to see us.
I mean, or they could accuse us for
Or
trying
rather,
to
you
put
guys.
a spider on them, but
Boy, officer, we've had a doozy of a day.
Listen,
Okay, so as the soldiers get up to you, you prepare your we have a spider and this is why talk. When two of them just kind of rush right up to Willid and grab him.
Oh.
Shit.
I
Hey,
know
unhand
him.
him!
Hey,
Whoa.
I grabbed them back. I hugged them. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, you. I remember you from before.
I grab one of their hands and I hold it really tight, like a grapple.
Okay, so
Wow.
But
Let's
I'm
not
hauling a spider
escalate.
like a chair.
So Willid, there's a solid Dunedain soldier with each one of them's got one of your arms and your feet are off the ground in a what might be comic fashion. While the captain of the guard comes up and says, "Is he with you?"
Yes.
Well, then you'd all best come with us.
Can we drop this off with Saruman first? I don't want to carry it.
Oh my God! What the hell is that? Kill it! Kill it!
Whoa, don't kill it!
Oh my goodness.
So they've
You
got
either let us deliver this
spears.
spider- You either let us deliver this spider or I'm cutting it loose right now.
No,
Whoa.
no.
That's
Oh,
not
goodness.
de-escalation.
Hold on a second.
We tried real hard to get this.
Oh.
So this is what's gonna happen, okay? We're gonna drop the spider off. You can come with us, or you can wait here, and we'll come to you. Got it? Got it? Okay, great. Let's just go.
Okay, well
What is this about?
we're taking. Excuse me, I have a cat. We're taking the murderer with us, and
First,
we'll send some
Murderer?
troops with you.
Whoa.
Keep an eye on all of you.
no, because he's with us, so he needs to come with us. So he either comes with
What?
us, and you come with us, or we'll come meet you later.
Kellyan.
Who did you kill?
I mean, who did he not try to kill? I mean, he tried killing me for Christ's sakes.
No, we've been over
Oh,
this.
so this isn't the first time he's tried this, done this murderer thing?
Oh, oh,
Listen,
why?
I mean, but let's be honest. Who hasn't murdered somebody here?
Kellyan! You are not helping!
I don't. Okay, yeah.
Oh, me!
Do you need a shovel to dig that hole?
No, I think I'm pretty
no,
fine
she's
down
got-
here.
She's doing fine by herself.
Yep.
I
Kellyan,
think
Gundir,
Willid is
Allred.
the shovel.
Kellyan, Gundir, Allred, please take the spider to Saruman. I will go with Willid and the guard captain to see what's happening. Does that sound doable?
I think you need somebody that has a bit of weapon finesse to be with you guys.
No,
We're
no,
not
I
fighting the
think
guards.
I'm not saying not fighting. I'm just making sure that those guys don't try to kill him off while
I think
know.
Nestriel's idea is
Listen,
the best.
I'm sure this is all just a big.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
think
Allred.
you and
I don't-
Nestriel, maybe you and Nestriel should just go with Willid, and then Alred and I will just take the spider back.
Okay, but don't forget that Saruman has made us a promise.
Right? Yes. What was
Right. Remind me of that promise.
Oh my goodness.
I know it's like 6 hours
maybe-
ago, but I don't remember.
I mean,
He
it's
was
been
going
a
to
day.
help us get some information
I had a lot of spiders right here. Okay.
on Kellyan's curse and on Willid's curse,
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
which is
Probably
why.
which is probably what's responsible for what the
I get the
guards are
two
upset about.
people who need to go.
You know what? I think I'll just.
Which is
make
why I
him,
wanted
give
Kellyan
us
to
the
go
answer
with-
in writing.
Okay. Kellyan,
just go.
please
I
go with
will
them.
go.
Yes, I have this handled. Trust me, I'm very good with people.
I come up to you. Do you have like a dagger on you just in case?
I do actually have
Oh
a
my
dagger.
goodness.
Okay,
I don't
very
usually have to use it.
Well, just in case. Just be ready.
Take my hand axe just in case.
Right.
Okay, Gundir, I will take your hand axe.
Take my war matic and my suit of heavy plate armor just in case. No, never mind.
take this.
Crushes the elf.
I'm still recovering over here from the line. Who hasn't done a little murdering every now and then?
Hashtag helpful.
Oh god.
So
Yeah, I don't actually really have a lot to say. Although the guards think that Kellyan should come with them as well, based on some of the conversation that's occurred here.
We've already had our talk with her about it. She's in recovery. It's fine. Nothing here. Nothing here. I've kept
Wait,
a good eye on
Wait,
her.
what a second. Recovery? Recovery from
Go!
Recovery from- We're talking about this.
fine, whatever. I just storm off in the direction, like carrying part of the end of the spider.
Just hauling a spider around town like
Can
a
the-
beanbag there.
Can the spiders understand us? Are they smart enough?
You do not know the answer to that, although Nestriel probably has run into spiders that can talk, so one assumes that they could listen. This spider has not said anything, if that's relevant.
They're usually a bit bigger than that one. And by a bit, I mean substantially, so don't worry about it too much.
Okay, so hello, officer. You'll find that I have no reason to resist, and I intend to fully cooperate with any and all rightfully held investigations.
Right, off you go, murderer. They seem kind of grumpy about it too. Like they're like hit, like shove you in the back and stuff a little bit too. They're not that nice about it, to be
Just
honest.
glad to be enjoying the presumption of innocence,
Yeah, how's that for due process? Get in the back, murderer.
And Nestriel, you went with them, and
Yes.
Kellyan.
Kellyan, Gundir, and Allred are going to Saruman.
Yep.
Now we will see if the cat and my keyboard can fit on my lap at the same time.
Mm.
So far, no idea. Okay, meanwhile, Gundyr and Alred, you're headed off towards Saruman with the spider in tow.
That's correct.
And
Probably slung between us still.
Are you coming with them as well, Kellyanne?
yep, that was the game plan because apparently I can't talk well.
You don't people good.
I don't people good.
So you're pretty
That's
sure.
And
So Kellyanne, you're pretty sure that they weren't too interested in letting you wander off, but for some reason, after you got left a little bit and they tried to follow you, they kind of lost track and
And
forgot what they might have been doing, something like that. Anyways, so you have no problem heading off with Gundyr and Alred, while the two scholars are left with the guards to go to prison, which is pretty much where you guys head. You go right up to the keep, and they go and throw Willid down there in the dungeons, and it's actually a dungeon that they're headed towards.
Wait. No. We're clearly, sir, isn't there information you would like to get to me so that we can actually find the real killer that you're looking for?
Well, I hate to tell you this, but when you kill someone, you shouldn't be quite so conspicuous. It's not like there's a lot of short folk like yourself running around town. Pretty easy to identify you.
Well, my good man,
What?
have you ever heard of magic?
You need to pull like a flower out of your friggin' sleeve.
I mean, I probably could. I have plenty
Like-
of flowers on me.
People skills?
Magic? Have you heard of?
illusions, Mike.
I am not good at persuasion, but I'm gonna do this anyway. So.
In the back of your mind, you can hear like a wonderful little jaunty chant I did when I first met you, and you get a extra d6.
I'm gonna need it. Probably.
Somehow it helps you understand humans or something.
Yep. Something humans
Right.
are weird. It's fine.
Right, that's true.
Well,
I feel offended. I don't know why.
so Nesriel, I assume you're rolling some sort of diplomacy type thing, persuasion to talk them into not throwing him in the dungeon, or just letting you go.
Well, they
or-
can throw him in the dungeon, but I would like to stay and explain to them the circumstances of
Okay.
the supposed murder. But
Hey.
look, it'll be fine.
I'm rolling my own persuasion then for them to not put me in jail.
Okay.
May not be able to talk to humans, but I understand their traditions, and they really like throwing people in holding cells.
Damn it! 4.
That's true. Yes.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Is that a combined 4 or just what you rolled?
I rolled a 2.
Ooh.
Wait, does that mean I have a 5? Hold on, let me think. No, it's still +2 on charisma. Yep.
Yeah, let's split those hairs.
Okay.
Are you not proficient in persuasion either?
No.
Oh
Great.
no!
I have a lot of proficiencies.
You didn't
I
take
did
that
not.
one?
I didn't go.
Shit.
I'm not a. I'm a freaking medical assistant.
What? Okay, hold on. What?
That's my job.
We established early on that this is a group that's really good at things that aren't talking to people.
Oh god. I should
But
put
we're
one-
pretty good at pretty much everything but talking to people. Because as you may have
Who
established,
doesn't murder people every once in a
Our-
while?
best talking to person is Kellyanne, and you just saw how that went.
You have the highest charisma.
I do have a pretty decent charisma.
Yes.
She's
What the fuck?
Yep.
I have
Warden?
intimidation.
It's kind of what I mean. I used to be a very personable person, and shit happened.
And
Yeah,
you
she now
opened with
uses
who
it
doesn't
more for
murder
intimidation than.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That actually
Ah.
talking.
she's seen some stuff. It scarred her.
people? Nice, neat.
Mhm.
This will
Yeah,
be
it's
good.
great.
This is gonna go so well. I'm so happy that we all statted this way.
So do they take all my stuff?
They do take your stuff. Yes.
Okay, be careful. There's an antique herbalism set in there and my dad's wood carving knife. Don't be careful with that stuff. It's valuable.
Oh boy.
Well,
So, guard captain, what's your name, if I might?
As Greg scrambles to make up a name.
Guard Captain Bob. Got it.
No, I have my where did I put it? My random Dunedain character generator, name generator around here.
Yay!
Ooh, la-di-da.
Apparently, I put it under a large stack of things, which is the best place for things I might need right away.
Wait,
Yep.
these are Dunedain?
Well-
Yes, they are, which is why I'm so horrible around them even more. So.
Yep.
Great.
Callian, please.
I'm like an awkward
Minas
brain.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. They,
See, it's
Dunedain
called
Minas-
Lords of Middle-earth Volume 2, and I just randomly open it to a page. Eldacar. There.
Eldacar?
Yep, that's the name of the captain.
Captain Eldacar, I know that as a Dunedain, you've encountered some strange things in your time. Our friend Willid here seems to be affected by a curse from an artifact, where we captured the giant spider you just saw, so that Saruman might help us figure out how, in fact, he is cursed. Apparently, when he sleeps, a shadow version of him roams about and attempts to murder people. Kellyan, who is with us, who, bless her, is a little troubled with her own curse right now, was potentially one of his victims in the past, and we are working through that as best we can. I haven't noticed a recent shift in his sleeping patterns, but I am also often distracted. Can you tell me what happened so that we might be able to piece together a hint or a clue, perhaps, to what his curse is?
Thank you.
Well, one of our guard captains was killed last night in his sleep by someone who was specifically... when we rushed in and saw that, we saw him.
Wait, what's his name? Oh, I'm not here. I'm not there. Never mind.
The guy who was killed is...
No relation.
Gilrain.
Okay, I'm fine.
Gilrain.
Gilray.
See? There we go. And that's what you get. Give me a persuasion roll for that conversation, just to see how it goes.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Yay! Okay. I rolled a 19. So that's a 20, which makes us a 25.
Oh, hey, well, like,
Yeah.
Thank you, Kellyan.
that's
Yeah, I
a
got you.
significant success, in fact, given the circumstances. So so you have a good conversation about strange things, and he's like, well, if you can get the official word of Saruman that something strange is going on, then we can talk about letting him out. But for now, I'm still going to keep him under wraps just in case something fishy is going on.
Fair
But
enough.
he seems a little less like, I want to kick the hobbit than he did before.
Which was the goal. So, if Saruman requires him to be near him for this, do you think Saruman would be willing to come down here, or would you rather escort him up there?
We'll send some guards off with you to Saruman. If that works.
All right, sounds good. He was not lying about the antique herbalism kit, which I am very impressed by as well. If you could make sure that nothing bad happens to his things, that would be very kind of you.
Right, and from what I heard, it's possible they're cursed too, so if we do anything with them, we should probably burn them.
Well, you should probably just not touch them, because if you burn something that is cursed, you may in fact make the curse worse. Magic is very touchy this way.
I always thought burning worked pretty well for things. Oh well. Okay.
Hey, how about you use? Never mind. I'll just be here.
It's okay, Will, and
Here,
I'll be back to you in a second here. Meanwhile, though, let's talk to Gundyr and Alred and Kellyan.
All right. Well, hopefully you can hear me okay.
Okay.
So,
Calling a spider.
Do we just knock on the door, or do we just like kick the door in?
I mean, if you're gonna knock on the door, I'm just gonna open it.
I mean, yeah, we should just open it. You should expect us anyways, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not gonna stand out here with a spider.
All right. So
uh,
let's just do that then.
I'm just momentarily one more moment of silence for you guys dragging the spider through the streets.
We didn't
And
drag, we carried.
I mean, there's goals and there's reality, right?
Oh boy.
So, after, just, you got some stairs, but you head to where the wizard was, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, wizards. And so you get there, Saruman, and he opens the door and goes, good, you got a baby.
This is a baby.
This is a baby?
I told you this was the right one. You guys were like, oh, this one's the wrong one.
Yeah, I've got a cage down below. We'll come this way.
But you got a cage, but you gave us a jar. What was the jar for then?
It seemed like Nestria wanted one. Did you use it for something?
Right.
Vastly underestimating the size of the spiders. That's what we used it for.
Well, you weren't going to drag a cage up there, right? So, looks like you figured it out.
That's true. We did indeed.
Yeah. Yep, we did. Yeah. Okay.
Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
they used me as bait.
That's true, we did.
If only Willid was there.
Right.
He would talk about how he was used as bait.
I mean, he was the smallest and tastiest looking one of us.
I mean, to be true, that's pretty much true in all circumstances.
That's true. I am a snack.
Yep. That's exactly why we went for that. Okay, so cage, right?
Okay, so Saruman helps you get it into the cage, and then says, so I will take a look at this. It is late, and I will work through the night. And please return in the morning, and we will have our final conversation about your friend's curse, and if there's anything I can help you with in dealing with the darkness of Mirkwood and the corruption that is there.
Now?
Well, because the Great Wizard tells us to come back tomorrow.
Well, I'm just saying we don't have that much time, and if we need to make a hasty retreat just in case Willid is actually...
Kellyan.
Sorry.
I'm very tired. I'm very, very tired. We've had a very long day. I think we can wait until tomorrow.
Yes,
we're not going to execute Willid overnight.
We're not going to execute Willid overnight. It's going to be fine.
Okay. Fine.
Knock on wood.
Fine. We should probably find where they are at.
Yes.
They're probably right where we left them.
Yeah,
No, they're not.
Heading towards the dungeon.
Well, to be fair, dungeons are the sort of place where people stay rather than leave. So your odds are higher that they'll be there when you get back if you leave them in a dungeon. That is, in fact, sort of the point behind dungeons, I think.
He wasn't in a dungeon, though. They were dragging him off.
I mean,
To the dungeon.
anyways, so it's pretty clear through this conversation that Saruman is really only talking to Gundyr and Alred, and Kellyan, you get that feeling a lot because you get used to it, that he does not in fact recognize you from the previous day's conversation.
This is bullshit. Oops. PG. Well.
No, this is actually PG-28.
Okay, 28.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Well.
Recommended for 28-year-olds and under. Yeah. Just like all of us, right? We're all...
It's,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyways, yes, I assume that you leave Sauron's lair as he goes down with this look of glee in his face and, putting some rubber gloves on and heading down
Yeah.
towards the spider cage.
Yeah,
I think we
that-
might have to drag Kellyanne away, but we
well,
manage.
yeah.
No, I actually leave. I leave and I kind of go off on my own.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, like, we didn't get the answers we want, but on the other hand, he's kind of a freak.
Yeah, I don't like being around him. He gives me the willies.
You haven't heard of magic?
But, yeah, sure you're doing okay, Killian? You seem upset about something.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine. In fact, you guys, you can go on ahead. I need to go and do a thing. So
That
Fine.
sounds like a person who's totally fine.
I'm totally fine. And I walk off.
Please don't wantonly murder the townspeople.
Well, Gundyr, do you want to stop her? Because I don't want to stop her.
I mean, to be fair, if any of you are going to go around randomly murdering, it should be Kellyanne, right?
It's definitely gonna be Killian. Shit.
Somebody randomly shows up dead. You don't know who the murderer is. Done.
They're like, yeah, it was done by somebody, but I don't remember. I don't know.
Remember
Anyways,
Who? Yeah.
nope, definitely not that person.
I'm not gonna murder innocent people. That's not my MO.
Allred, you go to the dungeon and tell Nestriel what's up. I'll go follow
Okay.
Killian.
Yeah, just make sure she doesn't murder anyone.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she's gonna do that. I've got a little bit more faith in her,
Thank you.
but I will make sure that she doesn't like make a scene or something.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good to me.
And this party splits up once again.
But the party.
Well, we
Wait a minute.
still have 2 party members together.
Right.
So
Yes.
obviously I haven't quite done my job the way I'm supposed to yet, but I'll figure that out.
We're not all by ourselves. yet.
So now it's time for some one-on-ones, right? Okay, so we're going to start with Willid real quick because I put him in dungeon, so he deserves things first. So you get put in the
That's how
dungeon.
it works.
It's a pretty horrible cell. It's like the sort of place they might keep an orc. In fact, you're pretty sure there was an orc in here before you.
Oh, gross.
It has sort of that smell to it. And so pretty uncomfortable. But after like the initial throw you in there, they do seem to get kinder. They bring you some food and stuff. So that's good. And the food
Thanks.
isn't full of mold or rotten. So
I sing a little sad tune to myself, and then think, oh man, this music makes me feel like a color, like a sad color, like purple. I'm singing the purples.
okay. So as you sing the purples to the darkness as they leave you there with all the lights off to just kind of rot in the darkness, I guess that's what you do in dungeons. You hear a voice next to your cell whispering through the door. Are you the one that killed the guard?
It's complicated.
This is it, Casey. You got to prove you're top dog in this prison.
Well,
I've been in prison before.
as it turns out, if you're interested in starting some stuff against the Gondorians, I might be able to help get you out of here. You might be my kind of person.
Why would I want to do that?
I mean, if you're just into randomly sowing chaos, I could probably pay you for that too.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds bad. You better tell me all about that.
I feel like that's a whatever we call it, lying roll.
Probably going to be a deception.
Roll deception. 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta. You gotta let me in on that master plan of yours, because I'm definitely interested in that.
Well, this isn't going to be the best place to talk about that, of course. There might be other ears not too far away.
You know,
Perhaps
yours-
we should go someplace else.
yeah, let's. How do you? Where?
You're in a jail.
I like look around, like, where do you want to go?
You hear some like clinking noises, the ones that might be like, oh, I don't know, a key turning in a lock kind of thing. And your jail cell falls open as a dim, like candlelight springs up, illuminating a tall, Dunedain-looking man in a dark cloak, where where it's like covering up most of his face, and all you can see is an extremely well-trimmed goatee beard, not to make him look evil.
Wasn't expecting that. So
I feel like we have like Batman Willid now. Anyways,
Right, Willid is doing a Batman voice.
it was from the singing.
yeah.
Has that effect.
Where's Herbie Dent?
Yes. Excellent. Well, come with me then.
Yep. I'm gonna try as we're leaving. I want to somehow leave a sign to somebody, or like grab my wineskin and like accidentally spill a little bit, like as I go to take a sip, and try to leave a little bit of trail of wine behind.
Okay, I want you to roll dexterity lore or something like that. Like dexterity with lore proficiency.
Oh shit!
You're actually probably pretty good at that, because that'd be like doing some quick lore to like scribe like a symbol or
Dexterity
something in the
lore.
muck. That, something, the sort of thing Nestriel would at least understand, right?
Oh, that actually turns out to be okay. 16.
Yeah. Yeah, no problem. You put a symbol basically saying something like, I went with darkness. That's probably not right. It's probably something more like, what do you think?
The idea is to try and leave a trail. So I don't know where I'm going, so I can't like write them a hint. I'm gonna have to give them physical clues. An arrow or something that would represent, go that way, and then I'll leave it at the next. I can try leaving a series.
Oh, so you're going to try and leave a trail. Sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
That sounds good.
If he'll let me get my stuff back, which I think was left nearby. If not, I can do something else.
Okay, this guy seems to have infiltrated pretty well, so he does in fact able to get your stuff.
Thank you. Yes.
And after a little bit of this was after dark a little bit, so you did the thing. Anyways, okay, you wander off with tall, dark, and handsome, and probably some other adjectives that you can add when you want. As Nestriel goes off to some guards to talk to Saruman.
Yep.
When you get to his door, basically there's another guard there that says something along the lines of, he has said not to be disturbed till morning, and it's important. He waved some magic, like his magic wand or something, and then I heard there was like some flashes of light. I don't know. I'm not going back in there.
That's fair. That's kind of sort of what I expected. I was hoping to find my companions here. Do you know where they went?
No.
3 very tall people.
They did leave,
Very
though.
angry woman.
2 of them did, at least.
What does that mean? you know where they went?
You know what it means. Think about it.
I know.
No, they went out there in the streets somewhere.
Okay, this is fine. um. Guard Captain, do you have anywhere you think either a very angry woman and a muscle-bound man, and or an elven woman and her human friend, definitely only friend, would go here?
Oh, yes, we have, as is often the case with NPCs, we have forgotten Gliriel, but she is in fact with the group as well.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, we'll assume with Alred at the moment.
We lost the elf. This works out perfectly.
Oh my goodness, guys.
I mean, so Alred, I wasn't really going here, but now that we're here, it's the Tower of the Moon, right? And night is coming and the moon is rising. And it's like, oh, this is an excellent time for a moonlit walk around town while you look for Nestriel.
Yeah, look for Nestriel.
We're really focused on looking for Nestriel.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're definitely
I'll bet you are.
looking for something elf-related.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the wrong time to accidentally call her Nestriel, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's the only two elves you know.
It's hard to tell them apart.
To be fair, it's not actually that hard to tell them apart,
No.
as it turns out.
Mhm.
Okay, Gundyr and Kellyan. I'm curious what Kellyan is doing.
I don't know what Kellyan is doing.
I'm gonna go somewhere like where it looks relatively secluded. And kind of like maybe some sort of water feature or something, and kind of mope.
That was Mope, right?
Mope.
Yeah.
Yep. M-O-P.
Well, there is a river stream that runs down off the pass by the road, so you can do that.
All right, so I go and do that, and then I just pick up like some rocks. And I start like chucking them at the river, and trying to like recoup. Yep, because that doesn't hurt anymore. Being forgotten and stuff. Nope. Strong skin and stuff.
So Gundyr, you get to creepily watch her mope
Yeah.
in the darkness for a while.
Yeah. God damn it. All
Can
right.
I roll to, because like my passive perception in the wilderness is, if this counts as wilderness, is 16.
I would still consider this an urbanish environment, maybe suburban, like a little less than urban,
Okay, so not
Or-
wilderness.
pre-urban,
Okay.
but not Carl Urban.
Thank you.
I mean,
Which is a damn shame, to be honest.
I mean, it's really good if you get extra perception rolls in Carl Urban environments.
Yep, nope, I do not. Not exactly my most favorite topic, so probably negatives.
So, okay. Gundyr, were you going to do something?
God damn it. Well, I am really bad at talking to people, but I've seen this because I've done this myself a couple of times where I've just wanted to be alone in the woods or something. All right. Yeah, I'll go up to Kellyan. Look, are you? I can tell you're upset. I mean, you're doing the same shit I'd be doing, throwing rocks into water and carrying on and so forth.
I'm fine. I'll get over it. I'll get over it.
You don't need to be fine. It's okay to not be okay.
I just, I mean, you guys are the first people who actually remembered me, and I was hoping maybe that the curse was was dying off, maybe, and maybe I stand a chance of seeing my family again and being noticed, you know.
Well, all right, I get that. You're cursed, and that's got you down. Really know anything about curses or being cursed, and I can only imagine it just sucks to the highest degree. But what I do know is that Nestriel is a smart lady. She can figure it out, or we'll find somebody who can figure it out. So don't. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's gonna turn out okay. It's like, I mean, I remember you, and Alred and Willid. We all remember you. Like,
yeah, as this angry, vengeful, bloodthirsty person. I was never like this before. I was better. I was somebody who was something, and now look at me. You know,
I mean,
I can't even talk to people anymore. You know, how far I've come. It just.
Well, I mean, we've all lost people. I think most of us have, anyways.
It's harder losing people when they're still alive and they don't know who you are.
Well, I guess that's fair. Although everyone's got their own difficulties.
Yeah.
I remember when I was good at talking to people.
And when was
then
that?
I lost everything.
Sorry, I'm not good company right now.
That was back when I still had a family. They all went away, and
what was your family like?
in the woods. Simple, nice, kind. I had my dad and my sister, and I never knew my mom, but I had them for a while, and then the wargs and the orcs came and took it all away. Just left alone in the woods to die.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, I mean that sort of thing sort of just happens. Luckily I've managed to find a bear that would take care of me. Taught me a bunch of things that I needed to know, and taught me more importantly, how to move past tragedy, which is, something that I think you need right now. So I'm just going to tell you what Urza told me. It's like, bad things happen. Just keep moving forward. It's like, that's all you really can do. And I find that the more you move forward, the more you realize that it's less painful the more you keep moving forward. And we'll find a way to lift your curse. I promise that. And I'm not one to break promises.
I'll hold you to it. I start
All right.
crying, like the silent tears, and then I just hug onto you. It's like, don't tell anyone this, or I'll kill you.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, and they wouldn't believe me if I told them anyways. So
good.
They would call me a liar. But let's go back to Nestriel, the rest of the group.
Just give me a moment. I'll catch up to you.
Okay, sounds good. I'll give you a minute. Puts on Morg helmet again. Can't let them see feelings.
Hearing, feeling, and tasting feelings is okay, but not seeing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's just a step too far.
Okay, though. So Gundyr, do you head back or do you wait for Kellyan?
I give Kellyan a few minutes. I just kind of sit over by the side and let her recalibrate.
Okay. Okay, so Nestriel and Allred, I'm sort of assuming that you two are eventually going to make your way back towards the inn where you stayed the previous night.
Seems like a good spot to meet everyone if you can't find them.
That's kind of the natural meeting point, which I assume Gundyr and Kellyan will end up at as well.
Yes.
So let's talk about Willid. Willid, you are following Shady Man into the streets.
Yeah.
He manages to shuffle you out of the main keep through some back doors. He's clearly bribing some guards to make this happen. Side note.
Oh shit!
And as he does so, he like whispers something to you, like the false pride of the Gondorians. They think they're so high and mighty, but they have fallen. They are nothing more now than common men.
Yeah, looking pretty regular to me. Pretty common. One can't tell one from the other.
And then he like takes you to some dark alley thing, and says, "So tell me, you did not, or tell me about why you killed this man."
Oh well, he was this guard captain. That, I figured he's like a clothesline, like a pin holding the clothes up after you put it out to dry. Take out the pin, falls in the mud. You got to wash it all over again.
It's nothing quite like an evil hobbit. I mean, I'll probably get to play an evil hobbit before this is done, so I guess I'm excited. Yeah, good. Would you be willing to do it again?
Oh, it depends. What do I get?
There's good money in it for you?
And what's the reason?
Let's just say that I'm in a position where it'd be good if Gondor fought with itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one hand does a thing and the other left hand punches himself in the face. Stupid Gondor. Okay, who do you want me to kill? Sorry.
He gives you a name. It's from my random Dunedain name generator. Bareth.
Berith. Yeah. What's who is he?
He is another member of the guard. He gives you like a location. I'm sure he's home for the night. You seemed to like the nighttime stabbing.
Oh, yeah. And I pull out my short sword. This is I've killed people before. With this right here, stabbing at nighttime. It's what I do. And is there any other information, anything else you wanna, like let me in on? Like where do I go if I'm being chased by the guards? You got a place?
If you're looking for me, you can find me by the name of Darun down at this inn, he says. But I wouldn't. If you bring the guards, you're not likely to find me.
Got it. got it. Yeah. Well, then I guess I'll go do some murder then. I'll come back to you. Wait, I take half up front.
Ah,
I forgot that rule that I always charge.
I forgot that rule that I always have.
he takes the small sack of coins out and throws it your direction.
I wink at him. Yeah, and then I put it in a pouch and I walk off. out the alleyway, and I don't know where I'm going exactly. So I'm gonna go. Where's the biggest building in town?
That would be the keep that you just came from. So
And what was the name that he gave? I should have written those down.
Darun.
He wants me to kill Darun.
No, kill Bareth, and his name is
Bareth.
Darun.
And he wanted me to meet him where?
And in the Crow's Gibbet.
Okay. I just walked towards the biggest building. Guess.
Okay.
In the nighttime. Where's the center of
The biggest building that's like has people in it.
the inn? That they might be at the inn.
I mean, you
That's
could go
where-
back to the inn. That would be appropriate from a campaign perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm excited about that scene. Right? Are you headed to the inn then, Willid?
Yeah.
So you've all kind of returned to the inn, and you're probably in the common room. So you've got a moment to discuss with each other before anything else happens. But so Nestriel and Allred and Gliriel have been there, and then Kellyan and Gundyr come a little bit later. Anything you want to talk to with each other?
So,
Well-
how'd it go?
We turned over the spider.
It was indeed a baby spider that we captured.
I told you.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful.
He told us to come back tomorrow so that he can talk about Willard's curse.
Well, we're also
And
asking
your
about your
curse.
curse, Kellyan. Don't forget yourself.
Yeah, well, seems like he's forgot about that part.
I mean, regardless, we'll talk about both of the curses tomorrow.
Okay. I managed to negotiate a relative understanding between me and the guard captain as far as Willard's curse, but he refused to release Willid at the time, which I suppose is fair enough.
He'll be
but
able to
I'll
last a night.
be fine.
Suspected a murder. It's like, how could he have though? We were with him the whole time.
Well,
Which is
if
So
true.
you guys
there-
left him alone in a cell? Have you guys ever been locked up before?
No.
No.
Oh.
What were we supposed to do?
No, Killian. We
Gee,
have
sir,
not
could
gone
you
to
put me
prison.
in cuffs too and put me down in that dark, wet basement?
I mean, yeah.
Pass.
I mean, Allred, you could have done that. I'm just saying.
Well, Alred has to take care of Gliriel, who's a foreigner in these lands just as well as I am, and we kind of stand out.
Yeah, see, exactly.
Right.
But this does mean that we missed something. We have been watching Willid in his sleep and haven't noticed anything thus far that would seem mysterious or evil. So it's not just when he sleeps, it has to be something else. Because this murder happened while we were gone. So either it is his shadow shade thing that tried to kill you, Kellyan, or it is another hobbit impersonating our own in order to sow some sort of discord with our group. Do any of you have enemies in Gondor that we should be aware of?
Not to my knowledge.
None that can remember who I am.
This is the first time I've been to Gondor.
Takes a bitter sip of her ale.
If Kellyan has a hand on the table, I will reach a hand very subtly towards her hand to like grab it with a hopefully comforting whatever that is. I'm good with people.
Good job, Nestriel.
I'll use my healer's hands on your emotional trauma. Yeah, let's have it.
Woo!
You
It's like-
heal 1d8 emotional.
Make whole sanity.
Well, that is one of the like paths you can take as a scholar, right? Psychotherapist.
You're psychotherapist.
Oh, great.
How does that make you feel?
How does that make you feel?
Like murder.
Here, smoke this, and then we'll talk about your emotions. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Oh, that's a different kind of therapist. But yeah, okay.
So
Okay, so in the-
Gondor, he
in the
wasn't
middle-
sleeping.
Oh, One thing I did want to clarify, Nestriel, when you talked to the guard, he did say that the guard was killed in his sleep, which
So the
implies
guard
that it
was-
might have happened at night.
So Willid was sleeping at the time? Would have
You
been
weren't
sleeping
gone,
at the time?
though.
I mean, you guys did spend the night before you talked to Saruman in Gondor, so you have slept in this inn once.
Oh,
I don't
see.
suppose any
Did
of
we-
the boys were paying attention to him while he was asleep like we had planned on doing.
I don't know. Look over at the boys. Did you?
I mean, we kept watch, but
Well, I mean, we're at an inn. There's not a lot of need to keep watch at an inn.
Oh.
Figures. Well,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, how long have we been traveling with him without anyone being murdered? It was a long time.
well, the only people
Yeah,
available
we
to
spent
be
all those
murdered
weeks, you
were
know.
us.
Well,
Typically in the wilderness, away from people.
well, if he was dumb enough to try and kill Killian, then he'd be obviously
Well-
stupid enough to try and kill the rest of us in our sleep.
You
and
didn't kill anyone in Lorien.
Lorien is protected by elf magic, though.
Yeah.
Is
and-
Gondor not protected by Gondor magic?
I don't think it works the same way as Lothlorien.
So the question is, like, who is the guy that was killed, that was murdered? What was his name?
He was guard captain, Gilrain? Gilrain.
Gilroy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so he murdered a guard captain. It just doesn't make any sense, though. Why? What's the point?
Well, what's the connection that Gilrain has? If he is cursed, and if he was cursed by the same person that cursed me, then he could be using him for nefarious reasons. You know, chess piece.
Right. I mean, the first thing you'd want to do is find out who hates the guard captain, which
Yeah. What connections do the guard captain
Yeah,
have?
who hates a guard captain? Like everyone.
well, yeah.
I like the guard captain.
What's wrong with the guard captain?
There's
You
nothing
know what I
wrong with
mean.
the guard captain. But yeah, I'm sure he had enemies. Yeah.
You can't be a
Well,
guard
what are
captain and not have enemies.
what are his ties? Does he come from a rich family? Does he come from somebody affluent? Does he have some sort of skill set?
This
Yeah,
does
that-
sound like something we should investigate, but we'll have to investigate it tomorrow. For tonight, I was thinking, since Kellyanne and I know the most about Shadow Lore, we would go watch Willard's cell tonight to observe his sleep and see if anything happens, while Alrid, Gundir, and Gliriel get a good night's rest to begin the investigations tomorrow. Kellyanne, if you would like to head the investigations.
I think this is the perfect time for Willid to walk in. So, right through the door, Willid walks in with all of his bags of stuff.
What?
Are
You
they,
can see the-
obviously, are they right there?
Yeah, they're at a table in the inn.
Oh shit! Hey, Willard, how you doing?
Hey,
I slap a hand over his mouth. Be quiet, you oaf! What the heck? Get him back here. Willie,
hey guys.
come here. Shit.
Hey,
Where's that? Like, I find it like an open door to like the back of an
Guys.
area and like shove him in there.
you guys. I've got to talk to you. I just have to do something
What are
really
you
important
doing here?
first.
What?
What?
They let you out?
Hold on a sec. And I get up and I walk over to the booth where the bartender, and I say, I need a round of drinks and a large stew.
Sure thing.
Did I miss
Oh, and
something?
maybe some bread and cheese as well.
Well,
Did I-
Kellyanne,
We'll get right on that.
to hide because they wouldn't have just let him out without reason. So obviously, this is good, right? That means the guard captain believes us and that it is the curse.
No, because nobody would do that without due process.
I kind of think that they just let him go because he was charming.
What's due process?
Oh my god.
Obviously,
all right,
they knew
The
that Willard-
Dunedain would never let anybody go if there's a suspected murder. In fact, half the time, the person who's suspected of murder doesn't live through the night.
All right, guys. So this weird Dunedain guy helped me get out of jail.
What?
All right, please
Snuck
say
me
that
out.
it is a weird captain of the guard that helped you out.
No, it was some roguish fellow. You know what? Honestly, Kellen, you should kick his ass. It would be great.
I'm sorry.
Okay, wait, let's back up. Let's start from the beginning.
So there I am.
Willid, are you saying you escaped?
Well, maybe we should take this elsewhere, guys.
Oh, good point.
What?
But hold on, wait. Our food's coming.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll have it come up to our room. Let's discuss there.
Okay.
Okay.
To
I'll
be
go
fair,
talk to the bartender.
Willid, the bag you got is in fact full of silver coins, so plenty to afford such a meal and
Oh yeah, definitely spending
other
that.
things.
You're spreading
Oh,
the whole
boy.
bag?
There's
I don't know.
spending his income gains.
Where
know how
did
much
you
I
get
got.
that? Where did you get that?
Well, let's
Okay,
let
well,
him
that's
get
what I'm
into
trying
the
to tell you.
name. Yes.
Well, let's get to a private area.
I'll yeah.
Can use our room.
You pick a room, you guys head upstairs, you order lots more room service in addition to the other room service, and have a much more private conversation about escaping prison.
Yeah.
Willid, did you escape the dungeon?
Yes.
I hit
Yeah.
my head on the wall.
No.
That's the
Oh,
stealthy.
Hellion.
Found it. I know how to help
did it on
clear my
purpose.
name.
You know how to help clear your name by escaping the dungeon.
Well, it's not like I'm gonna go back, but we're gonna earn some goodwill with the guards first.
Yeah, by leaving the dungeon.
Listen, this
First.
guy tried to hire me to kill somebody. He thinks I'm the murderer who killed the other guard captain.
Well, we are still up in the air with that too.
So who was this other
Whoa,
person?
hey.
His
Okay,
name-
I'm still up in the air about that.
He told me his name was Darun.
Darun.
Darude?
Darun?
Darroom.
Okay, so walk us through what happened and shush on the interruptions. This is interesting.
It was there. There I was in the dungeons, all dirty and gross, and all of a sudden I hear this voice whispering, this raspy voice whispering at me, and it asked me if I was the murderer, and I was like, well, who's asking? And then we talked a little bit, and he got me out of jail, and I was like, this is my perfect opportunity to go learn about the bad guy. He thinks I'm a cold-hearted killer, and I one time played a bad guy in the community theater back home, so I got pretty good acting chops, so I was like this bad guy, and went with him, and he told me to go kill another guard by the name of Aerith, and that if I needed to meet with him, I could go to the Crow's Gibbet and ask for a guy named Darun.
Well, you're right. This would be a phenomenal opportunity in a couple of different ways.
Oh god.
We're not going to let him murder the other Dunedain,
Yeah.
Kellyan.
Oh, good.
Please. Who do you think I am? I am a healer. Thank you very much. But this will give us a good opportunity to. Oh, go ahead.
He also told me he wanted to start a civil war between
Uh,
Gondor.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Great.
So I think they're murdering people. I think this is this might be an actual movie because he had money. I mean, see?
Wait, that's the money he gave you and you're
So-
spending it?
Yeah.
So then we go to this whatever his name is, convince him to fake his death, and kind of see how far Willie could get into the wonderful fold of murdering and government overthrow.
No, that sounds like a terrible idea.
well, we should certainly involve the guard captains at minimum, but I don't necessarily know if we should go to Bareth first. If we alert Bareth and he shows signs, then our Captain Darun may
What's
well
your time frame?
flee.
Did he give you a time frame?
No.
Because if you don't meet that time frame, is he going to send somebody else to kill him?
I think he expected it to happen tonight.
We
Okay,
can
so
make
great.
that work.
Well, so much for that good night's sleep.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys are going to do this one, but good luck.
Well, Willid, I have a proposal for
You
you.
seem to think that if we're not going to sleep, you somehow get to sleep, and that's not going to happen.
I think he might.
What? Oh no.
Oh, you
What?
can't be.
What the? No, but what if we could like?
I don't know
Really?
how well I'll sleep. but-
Mistrial,
So-
I am certifiably a dumbass, and I know that is a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Don't know what shows when he's sleeping, what triggers his shadow self to go and assassinate others. We also don't know what level of control he has over this, or if it's even something he can do at will. And we'll never have a safer opportunity to.
Safe.
Yes, we know of the assassination attempt.
Do we even know if we can
know-
stop him?
But wait if his shadow
You can
self
just
goes kills
wake him
somebody
up.
else.
You
can't-
Just wake him up. She says, "Just." I look over at Gunter. Just wake him
don't-
up. Okay.
Oh,
I
just
don't know,
slap the
but I
shit
don't.
out of
Well, he will sleep again. I can guarantee you of that. And he will sleep again in places that have people. And the more we can learn about his curse, the easier it will be to break it or to work around it when we need to. Unless, Kelly, and you would like to sleep with Willid in the woods every time we go to a city at a far enough distance that we believe
That's
it
an
to
option.
be safe.
I
Then
mean,
this would be the best
That's-
opportunity we have to gain more information and to work on it, in addition to trapping an insidious individual who wants to bring down Gondor and save the life of a guard captain that would otherwise be assassinated. Do you
Why
have
do
a
you have to make sense?
proposal?
Right.
no.
I was thinking I was just gonna head back to the dungeon and chill there for the rest of the night.
Oh, we
How-
will
wanna
be heading
be-
By
back
walking through the front door.
with me. And probably one of you fightery types, just in case.
Oh, God.
And what are the other?
Well, how are we gonna get the what's his name?
There's
I can
the one who
distract a
gave him
guard.
this
They'll
mission.
forget.
How are we gonna get that guy?
By talking to people and making a coordinated assault with the
Well, we know-
actual guards of Gondor.
Should one of us go to the inn he's at and keep tabs on him?
I think that would be a little too suspicious right now, unless you consider yourself particularly adept at blending in and being sneaky.
I raise my hand.
Oh, well,
That's fair, Kellyan.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I figured I'd go back to jail and you guys would go catch Darun.
so
But
you.
we need to watch you while you sleep.
I won't sleep until you guys show up.
Yeah, no, I don't believe
I
that.
don't
But if we catch Darun, we miss his cohorts. He's probably only a messenger, not the mastermind.
he seemed pretty
He fell for you.
seemed like
Being
he had a
sort
big
of-
brain.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to capture him alive then. That was a terrible thing to say.
Okay. Well, should I tell the guards then, or what?
We will definitely get in contact with Guard Captain Eldakar at the very minimum. I do think it would probably be better for you to be in your cell by the time we contact him.
Okay.
How do we get him back in there without anyone noticing?
Well, nobody
He's very
noticed me
small.
walk off, so
That's also true.
we did pay some guards off though. So there's definitely people who saw me with this guy.
Oh, they bribed people.
Yeah.
That escalates this even further.
Yeah, no, we could probably go talk to those guards. We should turn those guys in too. I mean, I'm not really. Yeah, they're doing a bad job.
If they're taking bribes, yeah, they're definitely doing a bad job.
Which also means we can't take you back to the cell that they were
No.
guarding, because they will know that something is up and then tell Darun if they are involved. So we have to go to the guard captain directly while also keeping you relatively well hidden.
Yeah, but I also left
Stay here.
a trail of tiny scuff marks along the corridor,
Oh.
so I got the route.
Hey, look at that.
So
Kellyan. Oh,
as you
go ahead.
guys are doing this, you do notice, because you're up in a room and it's got a window and all of that. It looks like there might be a little bit of activity coming down from the keep, like guards heading out into the streets or something. Not like real loud hue and cry or anything, but there's definitely some activity in the direction of the keep.
Well, they've noticed you've gone.
Yep, the jig is up.
Willid,
Okay, but here, I'm going to
They-
take my stuff off and give it to you guys. Because I don't want them taking it.
And burning it.
Yeah, I'll take my weapons. Just they can give those back to me.
All right, no, you don't
Don't let
understand.
them
Yesriel,
take
can you
my
make them
stuff.
sleep very quickly?
Oh,
I probably have something that will help.
I mean...
Look, I will go find the guard captain. He knows me. He trusts me. We have a rapport. I will let
Can
him
you
know
knock
what's
him out?
happening. Kellyan, you have to make a decision between going and stalking Darun, as you are the most likely to fit in, or staying with Willid and either protecting his potential assassinee, if that's what you call those, and watching for the darkness around him when he sleeps. That's kind of your options. Alred Gundir, I believe in your ability to work with Kellyan to make a plan. I really have to go, and then going to stand up and head off
You
to
are
find the guard
Way
captain.
too much on us right now.
Ooh.
All right, you two stay with Willid. I'll go and
Alright, that seems...
What's his name? Garoon? Daroon?
yeah.
Splitting up again. Hey,
Yep,
I don't think you should go alone. I'm just saying.
but I love
Nope.
splitting up the party.
If you don't split up, I can't kill or capture you individually
Okay.
in a meaningful way. So I'm with Nestriel on this. That like if we want to progress the story, it's best if we split up a lot.
That's
Gundir,
not what I was going for.
Gundir, I want you to go with Nestriel. Just to be safe. Allred and the other elf girl, you keep an eye on Willid.
Yeah, I'll stay here with Willid, and but what about the guy he's supposed to kill? Shouldn't somebody go watch him?
We're taking care of it.
Okay, here
I'm
we
sure.
go.
Fine, here we go. Here's the plan. All right. Let's
All right,
get going.
Willid, it's time to go to sleep.
huh?
I mean, he doesn't have to go to sleep immediately.
I think you should.
Are you gonna just? Are you gonna knock him out?
The thought had crossed my mind.
It's time to go to sleep, Billy.
I mean, the other preferred method is just to get him really, really drunk till he passes out.
Right.
I mean, how is drunk pass out different than sword to the back of the head pass out?
I think
Maybe-
enjoyment of
maybe
the target.
Well, maybe his
Also-
shadow will be inebriated.
Brain damage.
Yeah, this, alcohol causes that.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
It's quicker and faster with the sword.
I'll probably let him choose his own method of unconsciousness.
All right, Willid, how quickly can you get to sleep?
Don't I have to go to the jail first?
Nope, you're sleeping right here in that there bed.
Right here?
Yep.
So I'm not going back to. Oh.
Nope.
But then I will be guilty of escaping.
Yep.
I mean, you're kind of already there, buddy.
Yeah, but if I just undo, if I go back, then that should make it all right.
Well,
Knock him out.
This is chaotic good, not understanding laws.
Also, to be clear, he's knocking people out by hitting them on the head. Works in the movies, but not in this campaign.
well,
yeah, I'm just gonna.
yes.
I guess I'm gonna try to fall asleep with everybody watching me.
I asked Gliriel to sing a elvish lullaby.
Okay. So that's obviously the most important thing I need to do next.
Yes.
So we'll roll for Elvish Lullaby from Gliriel. Okay, that's a solid 15. So not messing up, nothing spectacular. Okay. The Nestriel, you leave and head towards the guards right away.
Yes.
It's very easy to find guards at this point, and they're looking for people like you,
Oh.
because they are in fact trying to find Willid, who has disappeared.
Yep.
And you've very much connected yourself with that. So basically, they've got the get any hobbits or elves and bring them back directive, which is unusual for them, to be fair.
Yeah. I insist on speaking to Guard Captain Eldekar, no matter what it is that they do. And I go willingly wherever they want to take me.
Yep,
It's maybe not the best thing in the world, but...
Yep, he's still back up at the keep, so that's where you and Gundyr are headed. Gundyr, you went with her, right?
Yes.
Kellyan, you are doing what? You're headed to the Crow's Gibbet, or...
Yes, I'm headed to the Crow's Gibbet to keep an eye on this Garoon guy.
Okay, you don't really know what Darun looks like. You've got the description from Willid of tall, dark, wears a cloak, and has a fine-trimmed goatee.
And he's apparently handsome.
And
he's a Dunedain too.
Well, I mean, everybody here is, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
It's way more common than Hobbit or Elf, for instance.
Yeah, that's true. Well, goatee. Well, I'll see what I can do. I'm just gonna casually ask around, because people are gonna forget anyways, and see if anybody knows of this Garoon guy.
So
usually in citier places.
Dang, that is a big advantage of this type of... Nobody's going to remember that you were asking questions.
Yeah, and I become very bitter about that. Thank you very much.
I think it's pretty badass.
I mean, it's possible they just don't remember who asked the questions. It's hard to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelly doesn't necessarily know, isn't really able to get that much information, but give me an investigation roll.
Okay, where's my thing?
And this is clearly not the wilderness, too.
I know. Darn it. Got a 14.
Okay, so as far as you can tell, no one here knows anyone by the name of Darun.
Okay. Daroon. I put G as in Garoon.
Yeah, it's definitely a D.
D as in dick. Got it.
Do you spend a bunch of time waiting for him, or do you do something else?
Do we know what this other guy looks like, Barris? He'd be easier to spot, right?
You know where he lives, apparently where he's sleeping, so yes.
All right, so I'm just going to skulk around that area then.
Okay. Nestriel, you get to the captain.
Guard Captain Eldekar, it has been quite a night, let me tell you. Willid showed up. Apparently, there's a shady figure called Darun, which is instigating the assassinations of your guard captains and something about a civil war. Do you know who Guard Captain Barrett is and how much bearing his death might have on the city? Because I get the feeling that it's probably pretty important, and we don't have a lot of time.
Are you saying we should... A lot of stuff in your statement I don't necessarily believe, but it does seem reasonable to send a troop to Barrett's place right away. So I'm going to do that. Then you can stay here while we see how that turns out.
That's fair. I will warn you that the two guards who were keeping watch were bribed to let Willid and this brief description of Darun out into the night. So you may want to have a word with them as well about the shadow seeping into your men.
He laughs. We're men of Gondor. We are not easily bribed.
I'm going to give him the most sympathetic and kind of just sad, disappointed look I've ever given anybody but Gundyr.
Gundyr's there. He recognizes it.
I know this look. This is the pinnacle of disappointment.
Eldekar, if the elves can fall to Shadow's corruption, so can men. I understand your faith in your countrymen, but I warn you, please be cautious. And then I will sit quietly.
Okay. So, Kellyan, you get to Barrett's place about the same time as a large group of guards are headed that direction.
All right, I'm going to primarily stick in the shadows, but I'm still going to enter ahead of them.
Give me a luck roll. I'm kind of curious how something turned out.
A luck?
High is good. Just give me a d20.
Okay. Are you kidding me? I wasted a 20 on this.
20? Oh, that's fantastic for you. So as you're you see them coming and you're like, oh, I'm going to sneak in there right away. You look through a window and you see some dark, sneaky guy in a cloak, raising a knife above Barrett's bed, ready to stab.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna shoot my arrow at him.
Go get him, Kellyan.
You like kick open a window with your bow out
Yep. Whoop-cha.
and take a shot. Give me a roll.
Oh god, I just rolled a 20, which means I'm not gonna roll well. I just did. Okay. 12.
I like how there's no hesitation. Just bust the window open, take the
21.
shot.
21, you said?
Yep.
Okay, your shot hits the shoulder right by the knife. The knife clatters to the ground. You see a cloaked, hooded face with a nice, finely trimmed goatee stare at you briefly with a look of anger, and then sprint towards the other window and jump through it.
Oh, I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna follow him.
So we have street chase.
I'm gonna I'm gonna chase this person down. On occasion, like shooting an arrow at him. Like, is there like a crowd of people? Because it's dark now, so I wouldn't assume there was.
I mean, there's a crowd of troops coming this direction, so clearly he's not running that way. The the guy in the bed woke up when, like a knife fell on him and a guy got shot with an arrow and you busted open a window. So he like jumps up and
Very
sees.
briefly, I look at him and I say, "Stay here. Your pals are coming here. I'm taking care of the person who tried to murder you. Thank you very much."
I'm glad that you add "thank you very much" to the end of just because.
Yeah. I'm proper and stuff.
That gives your opponent advantage on getting away.
No, I did not say that then. No, thank you very much. Screw that. I'm running.
I was
We're
kidding.
doing this as I'm running. Okay.
The opposite.
I'm not gonna be. If I have to be late and I let the person wait.
Okay, give me an athletics roll to chase this guy down through the streets.
Oh, I can do that. Okay. I cannot count today. So. 22.
Okay, you got a 19, so you guys are close, and you're both very fast. And so it's going to take you a little bit as you sprint down the street that direction. Meanwhile, Willid, can you make me a wisdom save to fall asleep?
This is a dice roll I've never made before.
I mean, assuming that you want to fall asleep. If you just don't want to fall asleep, you can just not fall asleep.
I just think I just wanted to. This feels rushed. I rolled a 1.
Yep, you're hyper jived. This is tons of adrenaline. You escaped the thing. You're like
looking for me out there. Look, I can see him. Right?
You're translating the lullaby in your head.
Yeah, this is not the relaxing.
You might not sleep for days.
I've just I didn't say it before she left. I wanted to talk to her. Who's watching me? Who am I talking to?
Me.
Allred and Gliriel.
Allred. Okay. Allred, Gliriel. Okay. I'm not 100% sure that this thing only exists when I'm asleep. I think I just catch glimpses of it. Because I've only had one dream, or I don't even know if it was a dream. I'm now not thinking it was a dream, where I met myself. I thought I was crazy.
Wait. Okay. Did you have another dream recently where you met yourself?
This was now a couple of months ago, however long it's been. 6 months.
So you think there's another you out here?
Yes.
And has nothing to do with you being asleep.
Well, maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I just know that when I'm asleep, I can see. It's like I go through, and then it's only later that I hear about something happened, and so now that made me go try to find extraterrestrials thing. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure.
So what are you proposing?
I don't think I can sleep right now. I'm just a little nervous about this whole situation. Like how
Turn
this all of a
around.
sudden
I'll
has
bash you
everything
on the
to do
back
with
of the
me.
head.
I just feel weird about that. What?
What?
Huh?
Well, if you just hold real still, I'll just bop you on the back of the head.
No, that's.
Since
I don't ever.
Gliriel kind of like shakes her head when you say that, Alred.
That's not the same. You don't really dream when you're
Right,
knocked out.
dreams.
Not
You
that I
mean
know that. I've
dreams.
never been knocked out before, so.
Okay. So we know how this conversation is going. Willid does not sleep as go there. Meanwhile, Kellyan, you chase down this guy. You tackle him. We're gonna just give one grapple roll to see if you manage to capture him and drag him back or not. You have advantage because you won the thing, but he's still kind of shifty.
Okay, what do I use my athletics for it?
You can use athletics or an attack roll. So probably just your normal melee attack.
Got it. Oh, okay, cool. That is 28.
Woo.
Yeah, that would be plenty.
I know.
You
Rolled an 18.
You
Well
grapple him up and drag him back to the keep where Nestriel and Gundyr are, I assume. Unless you have some more nefarious plan like dismembering him and throwing him in the river, but
I mean, that was tempting, but no.
Oh boy.
See, she's getting better.
There you go. Reformation.
So to make a long story short here, as we get some time, as we move along, eventually, since this guy's brought to justice, good job, Kellyan, and it becomes clear that he was attempting to frame Willid tonight for Bareth's murder, which he was because he didn't, of course, in any way believe Willid's Batman voice.
I am shocked.
Then it makes it pretty easy for them to believe that he was might have been involved in the last nights as well, potentially, or something like that, in some framing along with that. So I think you guys more or less actually get this resolved from the guards' perspective. They still want Willid and Saruman to have a conversation the next day.
Yep.
But I think they've got this guy under wraps, and they've got him for a couple of murders, and they even while you're there, they this is definitely an agent of Umbar.
But why Willid? Of all the people to choose to frame, why him?
Well, the guard captain, who is smarter than he thinks he is, or dumber than he thinks he was, one of the two, says, well, if you're going to frame someone, you want to frame someone who's really easy to recognize, right? It was easy for us to... Still figuring out how he did it, but maybe that's part of that magic thing you're talking about.
I want a few minutes with him.
I'll bet you do.
You'll give me a persuasion roll to get that.
Persuasion. All right.
And I'm gonna pretend that I didn't hear that and leave the room.
I got a solid 12, guys.
I believe in you.
Yeah, no. They're like, well, nope, we got him.
Of course, I would roll low when I really want to do
we-
something.
We appreciate all of the work you've done and bringing him to justice, and there'll be a reward and a little honorary, in fact, you could end up with one of those honorary badges things
No.
from here, or if you return to Gondor kind of thing, right? They put your name in for that. I mean, they think they're going to do that at least.
Right. Yeah. Then how hard is it to sneak into that guy's cell?
Well, how much money do you have?
How much money did Willid have on him?
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly.
As we've discussed, the guards guarding people who are in Brand jail are easily.
Hey Willid, how much money are you willing to lend me?
Well, how much is in this coin purse that guy?
I'm willing to take that much, and I'll bring back the rest.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, obviously there's activity that happened because you had to go back to Willid and all of that, but
It's only blood money if somebody dies. Okay?
Right.
Right.
But we're going to give that a try. Give me a deception roll to successfully bribe some guards, sneak into the prison, and have a conversation with Guy. Assumedly, you don't break him out or kill him, but I guess we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
The deception roll is going to be relatively high. I'm looking for probably an 18. Because, I mean, you have to convince some guards that might have just gotten caught doing this.
Is there a way? Oh no, I have that as I can re-roll. Never mind. Hold on for a second. Let me re-roll that because let me tell you, a 2 doesn't get you that far. Okay. Shiza. Can anybody give me a +1 to anything?
No.
I don't believe anyone is assisting you in this particular endeavor.
No. Willid is.
Torturing him at all?
No, I plan to sit down and talk with him. Probably intimidate him, make him piss his pants a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, if you ask for my help, I'll give it to you.
I'll take anybody's help who's willing to help me talk to a person.
Yeah, I'll help you talk to him. Mostly, like, don't worry, I'll make sure it doesn't go too far.
Your guys' faith in me is astounding.
You've displayed some anger issues. I'm just concerned.
Well, I mean, it's not like you probably haven't done this before, so.
Right.
Okay, so
Yeah, no, never.
does Gundir's help get us to an 18?
Yeah.
Yes.
Roll with advantage. I'll give you advantage on this as I'm helping.
I can re-roll again? Oh my goodness.
Ugh, the help
Yes! Yay! That is a natural 2-0, man.
Oh.
Zero. Wait, hold on. Is that no? That, yeah.
Apparently.
Curunir, you and I need to stick together, man.
So, Kellen, you're pretty sure that if you'd been wearing a warg mask and growled threatening at them while giving money, it would have been way more effective.
So much more effective.
As Killian's just asking questions, I've just got my work mask on and I'm like...
There's good news and bad news, right? Like, they're not going to remember Kellyan coming in here, but they probably will remember that it was Gundir that bribed them, if that comes up later.
Oh god.
What's the worst thing that happened?
Okay, so
you
two of you get in there to, like, they let you in for kind of like a one-on-one chat through the bars. They're like, no going in or anything like that.
Okay.
What do you want to ask?
Why Willid? What is his connection to all this? And you can't tell me it's a random happenstance. There's a reason behind this.
Look, I'm just an opportunist.
Oh, shut up. I don't believe you a second.
Willid killed someone last night, and I thought that he was going to be a good ally for our cause, but it turns out he's something else.
He isn't.
And so framing him and causing more chaos was good, right?
Intimidate.
Intimidate.
Oh. You see...
7. That's an unnatural 20 that I get to intimidate. I like slam my my hands against the bars. This is like, this is BS. I want the real reason.
See, now I can see the spirit of the true blood of the Dunedain is in you. Not like the people around here in Gondor, that they have fallen from their might. You can see it too. You know I'm right. You know Gondor is weak. How did you get in here? I bet you bribed the same ones I do because their morals have fallen. They have become weak. That is what happens. They are... Why you trust them rather than us, I do not know.
Who's us?
Why?
And to be fair, I don't trust anybody.
We are the Númenóreans from Umbar, from the south, from the Harad, of course. It is true, those ones that you disavowed because we fell under the sway of Sauron. But was Sauron any worse than than what you did? It's all the same. You came to this land, you conquered it, you stole it to your will, the same as us, the same as Sauron.
Okay, well, we're still
and we're at least strong.
we're talking around circles. I don't care about your reasoning as far as like your group and stuff. I want to know why Willid. That's all I'm here for. Why did you choose him? There's a reason.
Because he kills people?
He kills people. And can I see if there's like...
Yeah, give me an insight roll.
Yeah, insight. Okay, a solid 14.
Gundyr, you can insight too since you're there.
Yeah, I'm definitely rolling insight on that one. That's gonna be an 18.
Yay!
I mean, ironically, you think he might be telling the truth, Gundyr?
Yeah.
Kellyanne, you're still on the fence.
I'm still on the fence, yeah.
Elliot, I think he's telling the truth about that.
Where are the rest of you?
South.
And you're the only one by yourself? That, to me, it doesn't seem like a Numenorian thing to do.
Of course, there are agents everywhere, but I'm not going to give them up to you.
I didn't ask whether or not, like, you to tell me where these guys are. I was just wondering why you were by yourself.
Some things one person can do, where two is more challenging.
And look at where you're at now. You must not be the brightest bulb in the box.
Apparently. And he sits back in his cell, upset at the series of low rolls I made for his assassination attempt.
All right. All right, I go on my way. Make a working beard. Do you have any questions before we go?
No, this guy's a piece of slime, so I've got no questions for him.
All right.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got some Far Harad and Umbari and flavor text in. But now it's back to the inn the next morning. Willid didn't sleep at all last night. As far as you know, no one got assassinated. There was, on your return trip, you did see some lights coming from Sauron's tower.
I was about to give everyone high fives, like, way to go, you stopped him, you stopped Willard's shadow from murdering people, way to go.
It just makes me nervous, like, though already, he's, if there is another version of me, it's still out there. He's still...
Yes.
You could...
Are you suggesting that you have an evil twin out there who is killing people?
A twin? I don't know.
When do you think this all started?
Started when I put the book... I was given a book to put in a, like this crazy glass pedestal in Numenos.
What?
I thought I explained this already.
He did. He did explain this already.
Right.
I was given a book by my parents and their those adventurer people, and I went one way, they went the other way. I went and put the book in the thingy, and I must have blacked out for like a few seconds after I did that, because I woke up and there was another me, and then I was kind of confused, and I like passed out again, and then it was gone. I thought I hallucinated the whole thing, and then now we're here.
So, if it is a whole nother person, why is it always where you are?
I don't know. I don't know if it's following me, or I don't know, it's kind of random. It seems to be nearby, but never exactly.
Right.
Maybe it has a range. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
We can typically sense this stuff.
Did it follow us? I don't think it's been following us all around.
Well, why don't we just go talk to Saruman and see what...
Yeah, let's see what Saruman's got to say about both of your curses.
Okay, let's go talk to Saruman again, right?
Yeah, because he was a little... Yeah. Nestra, you didn't miss much when we dropped off the spider, but He got weird.
I believe that. 100%.
I've never seen anybody so excited to see a spider before, and that just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
it should.
Yeah, so yeah, you do the talking. I'm just gonna be disgusted in the back.
Fair enough.
Do you need me to hold your hand?
Nah, I'm fine. It's
Okay, let's get to some Soromoning.
yeah,
Woohoo.
let's do some Sarumaning.
You head up there, you go to the door, Saruman opens it. He also, like Willid, doesn't look like he slept much last night. You know, he's known as Saruman the White, but you wouldn't say that at the moment. He has like a apron on and is covered in various colors of green.
Yeah, Saruman the Butcher or Saruman the Dark Circles.
None of the colors of green are a happy green.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad I didn't have breakfast.
Come in, come in. I cannot thank you enough for your services. It was no easy task bringing a spider back from the Emmanuel.
No, it was
Or-
not.
That is for sure.
Not actually the Emmanuel, something else. Mountains of Shadow. Forget the name. Anyways, you have done well for me to learn. I can now say definitively that it is not Shelob spawn that are infecting Mirkwood, but something similar. I would say a sister, which implies that there is another spawn of Ungoliant in southern Mirkwood somewhere, as I suspected.
I could have sworn I dealt with her already.
yeah,
But-
boy, that
It would
sounds.
not surprise me if another had risen. Oh, Legolas is not going to be happy.
This one that you described to me certainly seems like one that is descended from Ungoliant. It has that in the intelligence, but probably not a pure child.
Are you saying a pure child infects southern Mirkwood?
It's a spider that is able to infect with the darkness itself. Have you not seen that in the woods?
I have.
There would be many large and intelligent spiders that would come from this. There might be many of these queens that you have talked about, or many to come, unless the source is dealt with. But
Well,
you yourselves were not interested in facing something as dangerous as Shelob, correct?
well,
No.
I mean, we are here instead of there. What,
These
I mean,
people are
add 1 plus
insane.
1.
They are obsessed with giant spiders. I don't get it.
I tried to talk them into it, but they were unwilling. So-
Because we like being alive.
We were willing.
You will need to find then some elf, probably an elf lord or some other powerful individual to assist on or to take upon the mantle of destroying this. I can give you what I can to help, but perhaps either in Thranduil's halls or in the Valley of Rivendell, you should look for some help in destroying such a spider.
Rivendell it is.
Cool.
I'm not even gonna dig into that.
So, I mean, setting the forest on fire is an option, right?
Absolutely not.
All right, I thought
Wow.
so.
Burn down
just
my
saying.
It's a
ancestral
giant spider.
homeland.
Get from point A to point B across the map like that. Nobody noticed.
Maybe we should get back on topic. Namely, the 2 people in our group that are cursed.
Oh,
Yeah, that.
one
Oh,
more
yeah,
thing
yeah.
before I talk about that, because you are also interested in the darkness in Mirkwood. There is
Yes.
things that are infecting the plants as well, the trees and the shrubs, the vines, all of those things that have gotten to darkness. It is possible that it is, in fact, this spawn of Ungoliant that is also infecting the plants somehow. But I do not think that is the case, for when Ungoliant sucked the light from the dark trees, she killed it rather than corrupted it. I believe there might be the necromancer himself finding something to do with the spirits and the dead, but we would need to do much more research. Speaking of that, if you find any plants with spirits trapped in them, I would love to take a look.
What?
I will keep that in mind. I had not thought to explore that possibility.
I didn't know that was a possibility.
I mean, I've never seen it done, so clearly I'd like to look at it if it happens.
Of course. You wouldn't be willing to make a trip with me into Mirkwood, would you?
Interestingly enough, he doesn't immediately just say no or anything. He looks thoughtful.
He's thinking about it. Oh my god.
If you are saying that you wish my help to try and destroy this spider?
Well, all the help we can get to reclaim Southern Mirkwood would be welcome.
Well, I am willing to travel once my work here is done, which it is mostly, as I came here to study the spawn of Shelob, and to use the Palantir. Now that is completed, heading to Mirkwood to find our allies there and see what we can do would be useful. Are you leaving right away, or...?
We have a few other things that we need to tie up before I'm free to pursue that particular avenue, but if you send word, I will go.
I do have some errands around the lore of wizards. He gets that haughty, you wouldn't understand kind of feel to him.
Right.
Yep.
And if you tell me where you're heading, I will meet you there.
Thank you, Lord Saruman.
Well, to the matter of your friend, he turns to Willid.
Hi.
Please come here. I did some reading from our previous conversation, and I need to just stand there and look. He holds up a crystal or something.
Ooh, nice crystal.
Look into this. He rolls some dice, because even wizards roll dice, right?
Of course.
Okay. And I see. It is true that the shadow has placed a curse on you. It expected that it would take all of your mind into the Wraith world. It would take you, which is reasonably common, but something, perhaps it is your strange hobbit nature, something disrupted it. And now only your spirit roams the Wraith world while you remain here. Do you
Does that mean
feel...
Willid doesn't have a spirit?
What?
Do you feel
How is that?
soulless?
Out of everybody here, he is the least soulless.
Hey.
Well, I guess it's hard to say.
Words hurt, Killian. I'm just gonna say that.
Pat, Gundyr. Pat.
I just feel bad that everybody has to put up with this because of me.
Perhaps it is the other way around, then. Perhaps it is the darkness that's within you that it has managed to trap, but not the light. And so that at times when it disappears into the shadow world, the realms of the wraiths, it only takes the dark hearts within you and leaves behind the pureness, the good and light that is part of you.
So what would happen if we got it back?
I mean, in this hypothesis, he would be probably more prone to stuff such as greed and anger and despair.
Okay, what happens if we find that darkness and destroy it?
Well, that would probably be helpful for Willid living a long life of optimism.
Okay.
I mean, this is just conjecture, to be clear.
I mean, that,
And if we do not do anything,
Oh.
everyone continues on as it is.
There is clearly some intelligence guiding the Wraith half of Willid. I do not understand its purpose, although certainly it has malice.
Well, it is made of shadow, so that makes sense.
How would we find it?
I am not a master of spirits, perhaps, and my fellow wizard that was a master of spirits has long since disappeared into the east, so I do not have answers for you.
What's his name?
Polando.
Poando?
Polando.
Well, what about our other friend here, Kellyanne?
yeah,
Yes, what about Kellyanne?
she has a curse too, although you
Yeah.
may not remember because that's part of the aspect of her curse.
What about her? Yeah.
Huh.
I give him a long, hard look.
It would be strange that such a curse would cloud my veil, for I am Istari, wizard.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
Curunir.
Of course.
Is there a corner for me?
Yes, you're very impressive, and we shove you front row and center.
Well, come here and stare deeply into my crystal.
Oh. I look over at all you guys. I'm like, really?
I give you a little shove forward.
Kellyanne, please, just do it.
It's not gonna work. All right. Stare at the crystal
Such a
ball.
cynic.
Humor us.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Am I supposed to see?
I can see within that there is definitely a touch of shadow upon you, like the breath of a ring wraith or something. I have seen that before, and it is usually fatal.
Whoa.
Great.
I'm sorry. Can you explain what the breath of a ring wraith means?
It is for those that have come in contact with the servants of Sauron, the dark ring wraiths. Though when they come in contact with them, it is often their spirit is slowly destroyed by what is called the breath, or the spell that is near them. For they destroy all that they come in contact with, especially of the living.
Yeah, that's great. So then either I'm dying or all these people around me are.
Since
Kelly,
you
we
physically
gotta-
seem fine, I'm going to assume that this death is not of your body or mind, but somehow of your spirit.
Well, that's not a stretch. Well, I'm glad we had this conversation.
Well, how do we fix it?
Excuse me, given the circumstances, it's best I take some notes. And he
Ah,
actually
great.
immediately starts writing
Great.
some stuff down.
Yeah,
Right.
that would be a wise idea.
Kelly and
Like a lab rat?
What if you eat one of those flowers that has a spirit in it? Huh?
The question here is like, am I liable to get you guys to kill you guys too? Or, like, am I a danger to
That-
everybody?
No, we're only worried
That
about that
doesn't-
from Willid.
that doesn't matter,
We're
Kelly.
only worried about that.
Have you faced a ring wraith?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Have
Yeah.
I have not.
Have you? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Not
Boy,
you, Saruman.
That happens
Kellyanne.
quick.
Wait, what? Really, Kellyanne? Holy hell!
Possibly. I don't know. It's a story I don't wish to repeat. It's basically how I got this curse.
But it may be vitally important to how we help lift it. And is mightily impressive on top of that. There are very few people in
There's
history.
nothing impressive about what happened. My men were slaughtered. My family almost too. I was brought to my knees.
But you survived.
Only because he allowed me to. That was it. And for what? For what did I survive to? To my family not recognizing who I am? To being a stranger in my own lands? To everything that I have accomplished in my life meaning nothing?
You mean something to us.
Yeah, wait, you...
Yeah, until like something bad happens to you guys too, and then you forget all about me too. It's only a matter of time.
We won't forget.
We haven't yet.
Wait, Kellyan, you went after the guy who was trying to frame me for murder.
No, we. That's only because I don't know. I had a moment of weakness.
I'm so glad that you're here.
Did you not hear what I just said?
Kellyan, you are a goddamn hero.
Not anymore. I'm
Yes.
nothing.
Kellyan, I've been
You
hanging out
are.
with these types of people for a long time now. You fit in. You're one of the. There's going to be stories told about you.
No, there won't be because I won't be remembered.
I'm telling
I
you,
had
I'm gonna write it
stories.
down. I'm writing it down.
I had stories when I was like before this all happened, and then nothing. It all disappeared. Everything into the blackness of whatever it was.
Well, we're gonna fix it.
And perhaps when we fix it, everything comes back. People who have seen you, that you've helped, that mean things to you will remember you. Magic is very strange.
Until I see it, I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
The sun always rises.
Sometimes it's a new sun.
Thank you, Saruman.
Yeah.
That's very helpful.
Saruman's got my back, even though he's kind of weird.
I don't get it.
He's actually doing the roll credits scene, right, for the
Roll-
campaign. I don't know if you guys caught
Yep.
that.
A new sunrise.
He said it. He said the title of the.
He said the title of the thing.
I don't get it.
Okay, so with that, you leave Saruman with the plans to meet him again soon. And that's going to answer the question, where are you headed? It sounds like you're headed back north towards Mirkwood and towards Ursa.
Yes.
We were
Oh yeah, we
definitely
gotta go
going
do
for
that.
I mean, if you're going to pick a place to meet Saruman, Ursa's might not be a bad place to pick.
Yeah, that would actually be a really good place to meet up.
So we could go to Rivendell first and see if Elrond may be able to lend some assistance in the whole killing a giant spider spawn of Bingolet thing to save my homeland.
Yeah, that
Or
might be
we could
important.
just go straight to Ursa.
No, I don't have any problem making a little side stop, little pit stop.
I think we're gonna have an easier time getting to Urza than we are getting to Rivendell, mostly because we got to pass through the Misty Mountains.
So
It seems like we need to write some letters regardless.
So there's two things here to know as you plan. So, well, one is a little meta, but in the conversation that Ursa and Gundyr had about the box and stuff, there is a follow-up will come that says that the box is on its way to Rivendell.
Oh,
Hey!
well, then this all works out.
So if you were to go to Rivendell, that's actually potentially Ursa might want you there as well.
Yeah,
We're so smart.
most definitely.
SMRT.
SMRT.
The second thing is that there's basically two routes to Rivendell from here. You can take the way Boromir went, which is up through the paths of the Isin, the Gap of the Isin, and up north, or you can do the other way, the way the box went, which is go back to Ursa's place and then go over the high pass and down. It's probably faster to go through the Gap of Isin.
All right, let's do that.
All right.
Hold on, let me call upon my knowledge of history and lore and
I don't
see
even
if
need
it's okay.
I know it's dangerous.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Okay, as is said in the chat, there is a third way, which
Right. We could
Moria.
Moria is the third way.
Moria.
You could do the
That would be the easiest.
Fellowship of the Ring journey. I mean,
Well, but
it's just a bunch of dwarves. It'll be warm and like happy, and
Yeah,
you guys
sure.
get along with dwarves just fine. You've only got 2 elves with you, and I mean they only kind of hate each other right now.
Look, I've dealt with dwarves before. I've talked to them. I've made friends in the dwarven community. Like
So that passive, whatever it is, yeah.
it'll be fine. Yeah, no, like we can just go under the mountain.
Nope.
We won't be harassed by anybody.
what's wrong
other
with
than
under the
dwarves.
mountain?
But we won't be attacked. Like a huge bonus, right?
I like the idea of not being attacked.
I don't know if I
I mean-
necessarily want to be underneath a mountain.
If you're in Moria, you're only going to get attacked by dwarves, right? So
Right.
that's the only real option.
No real reason to attack us. So
I mean, unless your timing is really, really, really bad and you get attacked by a Balrog.
right.
Easy.
So
My
that
parents said they went to Moria and they said it was great and the dwarves are awesome. So
To be fair, in this turn's domain actions, there was a 35% chance of Balrog, and it didn't happen. So
only
we should
35.
be
35% chance?
We should be
What
fine.
the who?
Nope. So all in favor of the other pass thing? Yeah. Yeah.
Moria
That's
it is.
meta. Hey,
We say
how?
warrior.
Yeah, I'm down for Moria.
Nope.
Okay, can I do? Can I get a lore roll on what we know about Moria as of right now?
yes, you can.
I mean, I got lore.
There's Bodhi making informed decisions.
Oh, not that well. informed.
To be fair, the person who actually knows the most about Moria is probably Gliriel,
I'll
Hey,
ask
Glariel.
Glariel.
and she rolled just fine. So, how did you do, Nestriel?
A 9 total, which means I rolled a 1.
Hold on here. I'll
Okay.
do, 4. I
So-
got a 15.
So, Nestriel, you recall how you decided back when you were learning things that like dwarves and lore wasn't important?
I encountered dwarves. I'm barely even allowed to leave the. Oh, right.
Thranduil particularly dislikes dwarves, to be fair. And
Yeah.
so you didn't really, you don't, you can mark that on your character sheet that you're at disadvantage on dwarven lore stuff.
Ooh.
That's fair, though.
That is fair.
On the other hand, Willid and Gliriel, who like pay attention to things, can tell you that Moria is relatively thriving. Gliriel can even say that they've opened their doors a little bit more than usual lately, but she also will tell you that they closed the western side and that there's no real road from the western side. It would be pretty wildernessy from there on.
Well, that's not as bad as going over the mountains.
I mean,
Yeah, but what's the time difference?
Well,
Like,
I don't know. What
It's
do we
gonna be-
know about that other
It's
route?
going to be faster going under the mountain than it will be going over.
well, I mean, if you do the Gap of Eisen, you don't really go through the mountains at all, right?
Yeah.
And you could go to Tharbad. There's a big thriving city community there. I mean, there's an actual trade route all the way up.
Yeah,
Almost
Nestriel,
to
what do you know
Rivendell.
about the pass, or the
About the mountain pass?
no the
The High Pass.
gap.
Although I guess, yeah.
What do I know about that?
Okay, so there's 3 things here. We have, I mean, the High Pass, which is up north, that goes over there. That's the thing Bilbo went over in The Hobbit, right?
Yep.
And then the Gap of Eisen, which is essentially walking through what will be Rohan until you head north to Tharbad along the trade route. And
I feel that is a good option for some reason.
Of course you do.
If you have a horse, that's clearly the best route.
I vote Gap.
That's the one that makes the most sense, but the one that would be most fun is Moria.
I agree. Moria is.
I changed my vote to the Gap of Izen.
Well, I am more in favor of a wilderness path, as I am comfortable in the woods, as are most of you. None of the rest of us have horses, and this might be like my only chance to actually encounter dwarves ever, considering. So
Well,
I will vote Moria.
What? What?
I'm curious. I've never really read about dwarves. I have never encountered a dwarf, really. It would be a fascinating adventure into their culture, their traditions. What
Willid,
better way to learn
can a
than
horse
to go
make
see
it
them?
through?
Yes. You can bring your horse through. It's not like a cave system where it's like 5 feet.
I don't know.
Well, maybe I can get them to fix my some of my dwarven stuff that I've
Trust me, once
had
you see
anyways.
the dwarven caverns, you'll understand. Like
Okay.
it is an impressive feat of construction. Your horse can more than fit through.
No, all right, perfect.
Alred, that may be true, but you're still 100% convinced your horse isn't going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not particularly looking forward to being encased in stone for any period of time, but
He's a good boy, though. He'll handle.
Okay,
The
so
spies of the darkness or the Krebai or anything like that, they're not going to see us going into the mountain.
okay, so that sounded like 2 votes for Moria and 1 for the Gap of Rohan so far. Kellyan and
I'll
Willid.
do Moria.
you know, Moria.
Okay.
Moria.
Okay, so our journey is to Moria today. We're at that time. We're going to do our journey stuff and then call it the end of the session, which who knows how long that will take.
Right.
That's fun because you get to head up back the way. The boats are way less useful because you're going upriver, so you're probably walking. And you're headed that direction. Who's scouting and who's lookout and who's guide?
I'll be guide.
I'll be lookout.
Wait, does anyone have anything in this? Oh, probably not. We're not in any known territories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're well out of those realms at this point.
Did someone claim scout?
That was Gundir, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm guide.
Oh, you're guide.
Yeah.
Okay.
We needed a guide and lookout and
I can be a scout. Makes sense.
Okay.
I have a horse.
Sounds good.
Okay, guide. Roll your guide roll, which is your half of your wisdom plus your survival proficiency added to a D12.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of roll you don't make anywhere else in D&D.
Right. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a 13.
You guys maxed out on the embarkation again.
nice.
Okay, that adds to your journey events tables as well as making sure everything auspicious and exciting. So that's good. I have, of course, pre-rolled our events this time around. So on your way up there, as a side note, Willid, you got yourself a level of exhaustion to start this journey because you had trouble sleeping for 3 or 4 days. Just so you know.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, is anybody hurt? Still?
No.
No, because we got a long rest
Yeah,
at
we
some
did.
point. The majority of us did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
the long rest was before. I think it was. Yeah, it was when you arrived in Minas Ithil.
Okay. So Gundir got hurt with the spiders.
Right.
So I will use my healer's hands to touch you up a little bit.
Hey.
Okie dokie.
Oh.
Hey, you're welcome. Rolling the dice.
As a side note, you all realize, right, that traveling to Moria because the only thing bad that could happen there is a Balrog.
We'll be fine.
Means that the odds of
We don't need
Balrog
that
increase dramatically.
Oh, they're gonna hate us at Moria.
Oh, perfect.
Greg, stop.
Why do you think they're gonna hate us? We only have 2 elves and a bunch of humans.
And we might bring a Balrog to them. I don't know.
Well, hopefully someone
a
has some
hobbit.
traditions.
I do have traditions, but it's likely at disadvantage for dwarves. So we'll be fine.
It's gonna be great.
We'll be all right. I've dealt with them before.
Okay. As you go on your journey, your first event, you're traveling north through Gondor. You're pretty much kind of in what would be the the wold of Rohan. When you come across what looks like a broken down wagon up ahead, is it our scout or lookout here? Lookout, you get to make perception.
Okay.
I will help.
32.
Good old wilderness.
Yes, gotta love a proficiency in wilderness.
Yep.
So, you can see what they look like travelers. They have a horse. Their wagon is broken. You can sneak up on them or walk up or just ride around them.
I give everybody that opportunity to discuss. Should we just sneak? We don't know who these guys are.
But they're obviously in need of help. And
Yeah, they might be travelers who need help, so we
Yep.
should probably go up and
Bandits too could be travelers in need of help.
All right,
you guys can
You're-
handle a few
you
bandits.
guys are both right. We should approach with caution. Yeah, like always.
I agree.
There we
I'll
go.
stay in the back.
Okay, so
right.
as you approach, a man and a woman, both with a spear and a sword, kind of step out in front of that, and you can see like what looks like probably a 12-year-old girl with a bow, kind of like holding it in your general direction, but not very steadily, and with kind of a fearful look on her face.
I look over at the person who can talk the best, and I kind of lower my guard.
Who are you and what do you want?
Look at Mesriel.
Oh, shit. Hello! We are on our way to Moria, and we noticed that you appear to be having some problems with your horse and cart. We were hoping that we might be able to assist you for good company as we travel.
Safety in numbers.
Safety in numbers. And I can guarantee you these 3 are very good at combat things.
Combat things.
I can attest.
How do we know we can trust you? He looks sidelong at Gundyr.
Well, we haven't killed you yet.
I've
That's not the best way to lead that off.
I'll have you
Shoot.
know.
I'm so bad at this.
Do you recognize the name Nestriel? I'm a known healer in at least a couple of different places. I can guarantee you that we mean you no harm if you mean us no harm.
And I'm Gundyr, and I've helped many travelers on this roads.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Oh. Hoping to tap my friend to all feature for that.
Well, as it turns out, the lady says, if you are here to harm us, then that is perhaps just what will happen, for we are at the end of our resources and wits in our travels. The north is becoming so dark, we had hoped that somewhere in the south we could find a place for a family. If you are willing to help us, then we view you as a blessing, and we hope that it is the first of many we will find on this road. For things have been bad so far. And she looks back at the broken axle on the wagon and the horse that looks like it's lame.
Oh. Well, I don't know much about horses, but Allred here knows a good deal about horses, as you can see his horse, so he might be able to help you with that. As far as your broken axle goes, I'm not sure if anybody here has the skills for that. Looks at group.
I can lift the wagon, and somebody can put the thing on the
Need to
thing.
carve some wooden pieces to go in there. I could help with that.
What skill would that be?
It would probably, I mean, lore would work because, it's lore / survival. Okay, so you guys are going to help the family, I assume?
How about we figure this out?
Okay, somebody make a lore roll, someone make a survival roll, and someone make an animal handling roll with horses.
Oh, I think
to
I
be
know
clear.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, you do animal handling. I'll do survival.
And this is
Get
the horses
lore?
then?
I'm gonna roll lore as well.
I get advantage on this one.
And I'm gonna keep an eye out for anybody who might be coming.
Not natural 20 for
Good
survival.
choice.
Yeah,
Gosh,
animal handling 27.
Dang.
Nice.
Lore 25.
Whoa.
Lore 20. Man, we
Holy cow, guys.
nailed this roll. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
What was the animal handling roll again?
27.
Okay. So it was going to be like a couple of days here before the horse was ready to go, but I think that with your rolling, that you get them on the road pretty quickly. They give you their thanks for assisting with them.
Hey, Willid, do we have any coin left?
Yeah, no, hold on. I got this. I go up to him with that, with what the remnants of what we got from the assassin, and I'm gonna give it to him. And I'll be like, so okay, here's the thing. Sorry, this may come off as a little bit strong, but I got to tell you about these people. Okay, so over there, that's Allred, the horse lord. He's freaking awesome. Over there, that's Nestriel. She's one of the wisest elves that's ever lived. And that's Gundir. He's probably the strongest person I've ever seen in my life, and he's like well known by like some high up like human people, or someone named Ursa, if you know who that is. And then, but okay, the one you really got to pay attention to, that's Kellyan.
It doesn't matter.
Right there. Kellyan is the most upstanding, badass, encouraging person that I've ever met, and she is probably saved my life like 3 times. So remember that. Kellyan. Tell your friends.
They of course tell you their names as well, and they talk about how grateful they are to meet such people as yourself on the road, and that doing so brings a little hope to the world that looks like it's growing darker. You all get inspiration.
Oh yeah.
As a side note, if you aren't, inspiration is, you can keep a running total if I haven't told you that before for this. So just add 1 to your list.
Okay.
And you'll get +1 to your rival roll later. Remember that, because we won't do a rival roll this session.
Right.
Probably.
Probably.
And then as they say goodbye as their wagon is fixed and headed down the road.
That was very nice of you, Willid.
I
Willid,
pat
thanks
Willid
for that.
on
I
the
told
shoulder.
you that's what I was gonna do. I'm writing this down and I'm spreading it around. We got, hey, what's up?
Are you our bard now?
You
are a bard now.
It's okay.
He wasn't
should
to begin with.
save yourself the time and effort and not include me in any of that.
You know what? I am going to make my own decisions. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Nice, man.
Oh, scandalous.
Nobody talks to her like that. They usually get stabbed.
Right.
Well, she didn't stab me before when she thought I was a murderer, so I think we've been
See
there
that,
already.
Kellyan? You've emboldened him.
We've gotten over that.
Right.
God's help us.
Yeah, because I know the secret to calming down people with bloodthirst. It's mead.
And how did that work?
It worked out
Immediately.
really well. We all enjoyed the mead. Did I hear any complaints from anyone? No.
That's fair.
Okay. So next on your journey, right before you get to Fangorn, you find a. This is actually probably maybe in Fangorn, a beautiful, like, hill to camp on, and our. Let's see here. It's got to be the scout, right? Scout, make an investigation roll.
Oh, I mean, that's good that I have that. It's not great, but
I mean, you have the skill, though.
yes, I do.
So that's important.
Not that it will matter very much. I got a 5 total.
Whew.
That's what happens when you roll low, kids.
We'll find
Ooh.
out.
Okay. You think it's a great camp, but it turns out not to be a great camp.
Great.
Perfect. Good job, me.
Everyone gets a level of exhaustion.
Oh, this is great.
Weary and dispirited.
But you know what? You have a lore master healer, which means fuck that exhaustion because I have. It's not King's Cup. Where'd it go?
Coffee.
Well, at this point, Willard's only 2 exhaustion levels away from death, so.
Oh.
What?
At the last.
I don't know if you guys know this, but 4 levels of exhaustion actually kills you, so you don't want to get there.
Legitimately, actually does kill you. So I'm going to make us some Athalas vaporized, or not vaporized, some Athalas vapor, and you just bring it in, and yes, and you feel better, and you get to remove 1 level. Oh, not just 1 level. Removes a level of exhaustion from a number of creatures equal to my scholar level. So everybody gets -1 exhaustion.
Yay!
You're back at 1, Willid.
Woo!
Well,
I'm
glad
just tired.
Hooray!
our scholar was useful.
Yay!
Okay, our scholars have been pretty useful.
That was so useful.
Did we even make a combat check? Well, speaking of that, the
Oh.
enemy is abroad.
Oh, damn it.
You guys go get it. I'll be over here.
Here we go.
So as you are traveling around the northern edge of Fangorn, because you don't go through it, because that'd be silly, on your way through the gray gap between Lorien and that, so that you can head to Moria, or whatever we want to call it, you Lookout makes a perception check.
Okay. Ah, crap.
Do you get advantage in this roll?
Spend an influence.
Well,
Inspiration.
Yeah, I'm
Spend inspiration.
gonna do that because I rolled a 1 guy.
Roll inspiration.
All right. So inspiration makes me re-roll, right?
Gives you a second. It gives you
Yes.
advantage, so it gives you a second dice roll that you can pick instead of the 1 if you think that's the
Instead of
right
the 1.
choice.
Pick a
Okay.
different type. That's the one.
It is better. It's not as good as I hoped, but it's 6 plus 7 is 6, 8, 23.
That's good enough, since your target number for this journey is in the 16s.
Okay. Good.
So, Kellyan,
Mhm.
you're kind of watching things. You guys are actually camped for the night, although you and the elves are out. So, anyways, but when off in the distance, heading your direction, apparently coming from Fangorn, kind of more towards you, you see something very large and moving in the darkness that's hard to make out. And just at the very beginnings of it, your kind of like shadow sense starts to tingle.
Crackerjacks. I go over to Nestriel and tell her what I see and go like, if we play dead or if we keep these people quiet, will it come towards us?
Let me see if I can figure out what that creature is based on your very detailed description.
Very detailed. It's dark. It's making me tingle.
Well,
Things that can make you tingle.
that's a pretty long list.
Can you show me where it is, and I might be able to see it better with my elf eye?
All right, I point in that direction.
I'm gonna go look at it, and I'm assuming make a shadow roll.
Shadow
Oh, yeah,
Lore
that's a good idea. Shadow Lore. That's a good one,
is
isn't
probably a place to start.
it? Nope.
It's good because I have advantage on that, so.
Oh.
Which is extra good because that was a 2.
Nope. So I rolled 2 2s.
Youch.
It's okay because I got a 19.
Great.
So.
This is great. I'm rolling great, guys.
Okay. So, if you look in chat, you can see that's probably the conclusion you reach. It is definitely a moving tree. Although you rolled Shadow Lore, so your impression of moving trees is that they're more like, Old Man Willow, just kind of trees that have gone bad to the core. But you can, when Kellyanne talks about the shadow tingling, that's more like wraith or darkness, and somehow like corrupted tree. And when you look at it, it looks a little less tree-ish and a little more humanish than you would expect from your normal moving tree. And you actually get a flash of pale blue eyes pointed your direction. But it's definitely a moving tree thing. It has leaves
Towards
and stuff.
us.
It does appear to be carrying something.
Damn it.
Definitely seen us. You should 100% go get Gunder and Alred and do something about that.
All right.
You don't actually know if it's seen you yet.
Oh, I thought we got the
Okay.
the flash of blue eyes was just kind of sort of.
So I'll notch my bow and arrow, and I will hit it. You go get them, and hopefully I'm not dead by then.
Well, here, actually, instead of burning my whole bag of hag's weed this time, I'm just going to wrap some on there and begin to smoke the dried leaves on your arrow, if that's okay with you.
That sounds good to me.
Neat.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
All right. I notch my arrow, and I shoot at it.
Okay. So it is 9-ish. I assume you're all okay with starting a combat at this point in time from duration
Yes.
perspective. Okay.
Yep.
Hundo P ready for combat.
I mean, we haven't had like a good combat since the spiders, so
Right.
And that was so last session ago.
Which was a long time.
It's about a month ago.
19! 19 plus 6, 25. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yes.
Shooting trees isn't hard.
No.
You shoot it. Your arrow, you roll some damage?
Yes, I will. Once I find my dice, because I did not have them out. Ha! Okay, that's 6 plus 9 damage. Oh, no. 10. Because it's a dark thing.
It is. That being said, shooting an arrow into a tree doesn't seem particularly productive.
No, but I got its attention.
You totally did, and kind of like as you shoot it with the arrow, those blue eyes come your direction. Its mouth opens, and you can see like a kind of a pale blue glow in the mouth as well.
Oh,
and a
Nice.
much higher pitched voice than you expect kind of rolls out, and words you're not even sure they're words, just sounds, deep grumbling sounds your direction.
I try to run away from it. Like I drop down and I run like to the left, kind of like I'm circling around him.
Okay, so we're rolling initiative, everybody.
All right.
Oh.
Okay, well, trees aren't the fastest enemy you've faced, let's just say.
Probably still faster than me.
It might still be faster than already.
Wah, wah.
Okay, the initial shot is off. It is coming your direction. It moves very fast. Not quick, but like it can cover ground.
Okay.
So what's our highest? Oh, I need to roll for Gliriel too.
Yes.
That NPC life.
Good old Gliriel.
What's our highest initiative?
I got a 20.
All right, that's him.
Okay, Gundyr. I mean, I think I've got a good idea what you're doing, but let's.
There's a tree coming towards us. Well, I know what's strong against trees, and that would be an axe. So here I go.
It does seem like the axe is more relevant than like
A bow.
a bow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna charge I'm gonna charge towards it with my axe.
Okay. Give me a attack roll.
Alrighty. Yep. Just roll an attack. 16 plus. That's going to be 23 to hit.
It's just like chopping a tree back home.
Whew,
I mean, except for that it moves and it's likely to hit back.
Max damage is going to be 14 points of damage.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I assume you get a second attack.
Yeah, I'll swing again. Does a 19 hit?
Yes.
Good enough. Ooh, that's still pretty good. 14 points of damage for the second attack.
Nice.
What was that? Sorry, how much? 14? 19?
14, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you cut a couple of pieces out of the tree. It's not happy with you.
Yeah, I'll bet it's not. And now I'm going to feel the pain.
Well, that depends on initiative order. 19, 18, 17. 17,
Wow.
Gliriel will shoot her bow a couple of times. Because that's what she does. She's an elf.
Guys.
Look,
Did I tell you how great I'm rolling recently? It's great.
Okay. Gliriel does hit once with her bow. Okay.
Yeah. Elves.
And actually misses once. But hey,
What?
these things happen.
Oh, come on, elf.
Hey,
Sorry.
don't talk to her like that.
We're just here to subvert expectation. Neither of us are particularly good shots.
Okay, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Oh,
11!
never mind, 12 is when it goes.
Oh,
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Oh, good. Good job, team.
Okay. 21 hits you, right, Gundyr?
Oh, but he does it.
Take 16 points of bludgeoning and 5 points of necrotic, and get tossed back 10 feet.
Hey.
I have good news for you. Because you got tossed back 10 feet, it can't attack you again this turn. So.
Well, thank God
Okay.
for small miracles.
There you go. Okay.
I just watched Curunir get tossed around like a rag doll.
Yep.
Yeah, well, because I got bitch slapped by a tree.
Kellyan?
Well, I'm gonna attack him with my long sword and then a short sword and go choo choo choo, or attempt to.
Okay, you come in from the side with your longsword.
Yep, my short sword. Choo, choo, choo.
Okay, so you're okay.
I'm dual wielding. Can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. You get a bonus attack with your offhand weapon, but you don't get to add your damage bonus to it.
Do it. No, let me see. Hold on. My proficiency bonus. Hold on. Fighting style. I can add my ability. on my damage to my second attack, because technically I'm better with my swords than I am with my arrow. That's what I put my stuff into.
Well, I mean, probably in your background, you were actually a not a ranged combatant.
Yeah, back in my good old days.
Yep.
Which don't exist anymore. 18 plus
That will
6
hit.
for
So roll some damage for the sword, right?
the sword. Where did my... Okay, there it went. Oh, 7 plus 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that would be 11 damage on that one.
Okay. And for the short sword?
My pokey poke.
Yep.
Nope. Yeah, nope. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yep.
Then since you went in and got into range and it still has an attack, it will now thwack you. Does a 17 hit?
I have a 17.
Okay, so yes, it does. You also get the wonders of taking 16 points of bludgeoning damage, 5 points of necrotic damage, and being thrown backwards
Oh my god.
10 feet.
Somebody get the Great. It's gonna be great. It's great.
Okay. 10, 9, 8.
9.
Okay, Nestriel.
Ready for the wonders of Nestriel's bow?
Do it.
Because that's what I have.
You can do it.
Hey! I might actually hit it.
Well, it is just a tree.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
Yay! This is pitiful damage time. Let's go, a D8!
You get to add your dex to that.
I max rolled my D18. That's fun.
Woo!
Which means 9 damage.
Hey, it's not bad.
You did
Look,
it.
man, I'm smart, I'm wise, and I can kind of sort of talk to people. I don't know what else you want from these stats.
And the tree now has 3 arrows sticking out of it.
I feel accomplished that I hit it and did damage.
This is time for somebody to climb up using those arrows and like smashing it in the face.
Well, if Legolas was here.
If Legolas
I know.
Can I see what it appears to be carrying?
It looks to be a bag. Like made out of a big bag.
Like a people-sized bag?
It could absolutely hold people in it, yeah. There
Be
are...
careful of that.
You can see multiple bumps in it, so you think there's more than one thing in it.
Oh, goodness.
Interesting. Alright. Carry on.
To be fair, it probably dropped the bag when it started whacking people.
Oh.
So it is on the ground nearby, if that is of interest to people.
How close to the wacky tree is it?
The wacky tree.
Very, very close to the wacky tree.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that.
Okay. 8, 7, 6, 5.
6.
Oh, hey.
Oh, shit.
You both got
Go ahead.
Me first?
Unless you want me to go first.
I'm going to find the nearest hiding place
Okay.
away from the thing. I'm going to make a hide check. That's a 27. And then I'm going to aim for its vulnerable parts.
I mean, like the eyes, it does look like it has eyes.
Giant tree, it doesn't have any vulnerable parts. Do I have advantage on my roll?
Sure.
That's a 26 to hit.
Yes.
That's going to do 17, 21 points of damage.
Holy cracker jacks, Batman.
go.
I'm totally going to say that does look like it hit it in near its eye or in its eye.
And then I use the rest of my movement to run away a ways from it.
Okay. Okay, Allred.
All right, I'm gonna activate my Battle Fury there, and then I'm going to charge in on my horse and attack recklessly, because that's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, this
Alright.
thing
You're a
is
barbarian, man.
toss two people.
I mean, it's
straight
probably
back
going
from
to
it.
hit you anyways, so you may as well.
Yeah,
let
right.
it get
Exactly. All right. I'm going to assume a 26 hits,
Yes.
and again a 26. So we'll see how I do with damage. I get a little extra because I'm mounted. That's not great. 6 damage for the first attack, and 11 for the second. As I hack at it with a sword.
A sword? Don't you use a spear?
I got both.
Okay, so you're using the sword right now.
Yes.
It does seem more effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay, that's the round. Back to the top is Gundyr.
Woo! I'm gonna I'm gonna use half of my movement to stand up. At which point I'm going to go into a frenzy, because that seems like the right thing to do at this point. And then I will use the rest of my movement to charge up ahead and smack it.
Do your thing.
All right.
Yeah, there's too many of us. Can't hit all of you.
That's right.
That's going to be 19 to hit.
Yes.
That's going to be a total of 12 points of damage. And my second attack. Ooh, nat 20. Here we go.
Oh.
Oh boy.
I think the nat 20 versus a tree with an axe, we all got a pretty good idea of how this looks.
Ooh.
Wow. That's...
Very Disney Mickey Mouse meeting the broomstick thing.
Yeah, that critical hit landed with a total of 24 points of damage.
Oh, is that all?
Dang.
Okay, you actually took off a limb. Now, not necessarily one of the ones that's been hitting you, because there's a lot of other limbs sticking out in various places. But you took off a large piece of it that went flying with that. That seems to have angered it.
It's gonna hit me again, isn't it?
Well, you've made yourself a target.
Well, I've got the HP to spare, so here we go.
I mean, to call yourself Slayer, but we really just call you hit point soak, right? Hit
Right.
point bank
Yeah.
for the party.
I got the meat.
Did you recklessly attack or just normally?
I just normally attacked, luckily.
Okay, so you do get hit though with a 23.
That hits.
And so you take your damage again, and once again go flying. Although, wait. Yeah, okay, we'll save that.
I'll take the full necrotic, but I'll take half the bludgeoning, I
Yep,
guess.
now that you're frenzied.
Right.
And is anyone else still by here? Alred is.
Yeah,
Does 17 hit you?
it does.
Oh, I've got advantage against you too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's call that actually a 23 as
Yeah,
well.
Definitely.
Well, if it's not a crit, that's the important part.
It is not a crit. So you get knocked off your horse
Yep, not surprised by that.
as you go flying and take your 16 plus 5 damage.
Ouch.
Well,
At least you guys are spreading it around.
You're right. We're spreading out damage.
Woo!
That's
So
the
instead of
smart thing to do.
Gonna
Yeah.
have some healing to do tonight.
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, Kellyanne, it's your turn.
Well, I'm gonna stagger up. Probably cough up a little bit of blood. and go and poke it again.
You do your thing.
I do my thing. Ooh.
Oh,
All right. I rolled a 19 plus the other stuff. So I'm assuming I hit.
yes, that will hit.
Okie dokie.
Artichoke.
As you're doing that, an arrow from Gliriel slams into it right next to you.
Oh, I forgot. She was before me.
It's okay. Keep going.
Sorry. Actually,
Well, I mean, it's my fault, not yours.
okay.
Dang NPCs.
I know. I keep forgetting that she exists.
Wow, rude.
I know.
Elves are people too, Kellyanne.
They are? No, just
You know, that's a harsh thing coming from Kellyanne, right? Because, you know, forgetting that you exist is sort of a trigger point for Kellyanne.
such a huge trigger. Okay, so that
Oh, man.
is 6. Okay, so that's 9. 9 damage for the longsword, and then the pokey poke. Oh, it's 23.
Nice.
That hits.
All right, the other pokey poke. That is a solid 6.
And you don't get to add your damage bonus to that one. It's just a straight D6 roll in short sword case.
Oh, then it is 4.
Okay. I believe Nestriel is next.
Oh, right. I'm participating because I can do combat damage.
I can fight.
I can miss. Is 12 good enough?
No, it is not.
Mhm.
An arrow flies off into the wilderness. Speaking of that, Gliriel's second attack was a critical failure.
Ooh.
Oh,
what?
So Kellyanne,
Oh,
another arrow whizzes by you, leaving just a small trail of blood. Take 1 point of damage
Oh my
as it
goodness.
misses the tree thing and slices you briefly. You're pretty sure it was
Hey, I
Elvish.
said that I forgot about you.
I mean, it was either Nestriel or Gliriel, but that's what you get for that.
I feel she made the right choice.
It's fair. Don't hurt the healer.
All right, no.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We had Willid going next.
You said something about a bag?
Yes, it's basically standing over a large bag full of large objects. The bag is like way bigger than you. You could easily fit in it.
Do you think does it look heavy?
Yes.
I'm gonna okay. Dash, it is standing over top of it. I'm gonna try to run around to its back side. So I'm gonna use my movement and then my dash to get as far around behind it as I can. And then I'm gonna use my cunning action to hide.
Okay.
That's a 24.
That does look like enough to hide.
That's probably the end of my turn.
Allred.
Alrighty. So as we've been hitting it, like especially, Mr. Axe over there, does it look like wood chunks are flying off, or is it more fleshy bits?
They look pretty wooden to you.
Alright.
Although after the last one where it took a big piece off, it does look like it's weeping some sort of sap or something that looks maybe a little fleshier.
Well, if it's like flat sap, then that might be flammable.
Please don't light the Fangorn Forest on fire.
Well, no promises.
Oh.
Thanks for your public service
And
announcement.
here you guys were worried I'd do that.
Yeah, I think I just need to run up and try to smash this guy. Once again, attacking with reckless abandon. Because, what do you got to lose? Just your life.
Just your life. It's fine.
You'll be fine.
That's the third 19 I've rolled. Why can't I roll a 20? That'll hit on a 26.
Yep.
And 20 will also probably hit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how well I do. 12 for the first one. And 9 for the second one.
Not bad. Not bad.
Okay.
It's not nothing. And then I brace for the inevitable.
Well, end of round, it uses something like a legendary action. Hard to say. Do you guys want to fight things with legendary actions?
No.
Anyways,
Yeah.
that tree you were hiding behind last time, Willid,
Yeah.
it like looks over it and kind of like like a blue thread goes through the tree and it separates itself from the rock
Oh.
and it like
Oh.
crunching noises and it leaps. It doesn't leap. Trees don't leap. But it kind of
Burst over.
emerges and heads your direction. Although to be fair, it's really close to Nestriel. But I don't think it cares enough.
Whew. All right. Not a threat. We're good.
It's actually because you're an elf, right? And it's not going to attack elves.
Yes!
Wow. Racist.
You have no idea if that's true. Okay, but you can test it later.
That's true.
You need to know is most important. And with that, we're back to Gundyr.
I have been knocked on my ass again, and I get back up and I charge in for the attack. Because I don't know when to stop. Alright, that's going to be a 21 to hit. And that's going to be 25 to hit. So those will both hit. Ooh, yeah! That's 18 points of damage on that one hit. And 16 on the other one.
Okay.
Nice.
One of its legs looks like it's weakening as you slam into it, and it gets angry. Gliriel shoots it a couple of times. Let's see if she decides to shoot Kellyan again. Nope. Just
I'm gonna get hit again, so I'm just gonna grab my character sheet.
okay. So, but it's more fun this time around. Willid, were you in any way getting in that bag?
I didn't know if I had made it to the bag. I thought I was like running.
You're like right
around.
behind it, right?
Yeah, I could be right behind it. I'm aiming to grab onto the bag and like look at what's inside.
Okay, so just as you're like grabbing onto the bag, it reaches down with one of its massive gnarled wooden hands and grabs the top of the bag again and lifts it almost effortlessly. You have a choice to
Hang on.
hang on, okay. And then it spins the bag, slamming everybody near it with it in a big whirlwind of flaming, or not flaming, of baggy death. Clearly, some of the bag is full of rocks, because at least for the people who get hit, you're sure that there's both squishy things and really hard things in the bag.
I'm sure that's fine.
Let's see.
Do we hear any screams from the bag?
No. Let's say that's a 30-point damage area effect. You can do a dex save for half.
Okay.
That's going to be Kellyan, Gundyr, and Allred, pretty much, because you all came in after the last round of getting thrown around. As a side note, it also includes your horse, Allred.
What do I roll?
I believe that's Orcish for I failed a roll, right, Kellyan? Never mind.
I rolled a 1 twice.
Oh,
You know I'm not on the horse
I
anymore,
know
right?
what's going
Yes,
on.
I know
You guys
that.
hate me now.
But your horse is not retreated too far, because it's, a combat horse.
Okay.
So you can roll a dex save for your horse, too. Just let me know what you roll.
It's been a long
Right.
time since I've used swords. That's gonna be my excuse.
I'm gonna use that inspiration for me.
Oh,
Horse rolled
also,
a 13.
Okay.
Rob, wait, how did you roll? What did you roll?
I got a 15.
All right, and then what did you get again for Allred?
Allred got a 16 because I used my inspiration.
Okay, so you guys should be fine, right?
Theoretically.
Well, I can always wait until after, and then I can give you guys a d6. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it to Dustcart.
So the target number was 18.
All right. I look at
Oh.
the two of you, and I say, because I'm going to use all of those, that it's not.
No, give it to Dustcart.
It's not about how you hit, but where you hit a tree. And that's as much as I get out of my mouth before I get hit.
It's not about where, it's about how.
So who gets a bonus?
You and also
Oh, okay.
Gundir. Yep.
Okay.
All right, that puts me above 18.
Okay, so
I'm good.
so for those of you who made it, you take just 15 bludgeoning and that's it. You don't get thrown or anything.
So then
Allred,
take half of that, right?
no, 15 is the half. Sorry, so half of 30 is 15.
If we're frenzied,
Oh.
we take half of that.
Yes, that's correct.
All right.
Allred, that means that you get to like just kind of duck out of the way as you watch your horse get thrown.
Oh God.
Everyone knows that horses like to get thrown, right?
The legs are very sturdy.
Yep. What?
Anyways,
Wow.
I believe horses are actually like vulnerable to falling damage, right? Isn't that the thing? Anyways,
Thanks.
it's okay. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Was that convincing? I'll work on it. The other fun thing though is Kellyanne rolling a 1, right? So you were like, "Oh, you guys get out of the way!" Whack, and you like get tossed up the hill, like just like a baseball, like a home run kind of hit rather than just a foul ball.
Great. Great. This is great, guys.
And you land in the other moving tree that's coming your direction. You're like in the top of it.
Okay.
Oh no.
Does that break my falls, or I take less falling damage?
I mean, you don't take any additional damage, but you are in a moving tree, so that's a thing.
Oh, great, guys. This is great as I bleed all over it. Got it. Great. This is great. This is fine.
Then it's going to spend its move action sprinting off because you've done enough to it, and it's now retreating.
Like balance retreating.
What did you...
Willid, you are still attached to the bag.
How?
Okay, that's a relevant point. Give me a strength roll to maintain contact with the bag.
I let go. At first my instinct is to hang on, but as soon as it starts to like swing it, I let go.
Okay, you let go. So you're not attached to the bag, which is probably for the best. And
Do I need to roll? Do I need to roll anything?
no, you just it like starts picking it up. It's me. You like, nope, I'm out of here, and you drop to the ground.
Okay, whew. I thought I was gonna get like
Although I guess
catapulted.
that would put you in the area effect if it's coming around the second time. Did you make a dex check?
I have not made a dex check.
You are small, so I'm going to say that if you succeed at your save, you don't take any damage at all.
Aha!
Otherwise, we see how far a hobbit can fly.
Oh. I got a 9.
Ah, damn it.
So, just at the very end of the swing, right? So it's the very last one because it had to come all the way around again. It's got a little lower and it hits this hobbit, and the hobbit it's a line drive across the ground, sending them 30 points damage into a pile of rocks.
Can I use my uncanny dodge ability on this?
That does
Which
half
is-
damage
Yeah.
on one physical attack. Yes, you can.
That's great.
You rolled with the blow.
Oh.
Oh boy, guys.
Thunk.
Doing great.
Then it starts taking off. And it's Kellyanne's turn. Kellyanne, you're in a tree.
And it's moving. Where is it? Moving close to my friends? 'Cause I
Yes,
left my
yes, it
lady
is.
here. No. Well, I mean, when opportunity gives you a moving tree, you strike it down.
That's one of those famous Dunedain sayings.
Right. Yeah, I'll bet that. I'll bet that's something they say all the time.
All the time. Oh my goodness, I have redeemed myself. Thank you. I got rolled a 20.
Nice.
Okay,
Well
give me
done.
some critical damage.
I just wish it was against the bigger tree, but that's fine.
To be fair, you guys are on the edge, and there aren't a lot of like really big trees around here, so this one is way smaller than the other one.
Yeah.
But what's in the bag? I want to know. My
right,
scholarly curiosity's burning.
Don't
10.
worry, I'll stop him.
10 damage.
Okay,
And then, roll for the other one. 16, 21?
that
Oh,
hits.
no, wait. Yeah, okay. 21. I don't add the attack. That's right. Oh, that's a 6. 6, 7. 7 damage.
You mean 5? You don't get
No,
to add.
I rolled a 6 and then my +1 for
Oh,
dark creatures, unless it's not a dark
sure.
creature anymore.
Nope, it qualifies.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Darkness.
Okay. Gliriel shot the thing a couple of times, and then it's Nestriel's turn. Yep, sure
Oh
did.
boy. Fucking goddamn. Son, it's a 12 to hit again.
12
Nowhere
misses.
near, right?
I know.
If I told you it had 3 hit points, would you be upset with me?
No.
Okay,
Suck
well,
my dice.
I won't tell you
Can
then.
somebody throw his axe at something? I don't know.
I don't think I'm proficient with axes. I am not.
Throw the axe.
Yeah.
Will you go before it gets to go again, Gundyr? I believe in you.
What?
You know what? I'm gonna shout at you a story about a time when a human vaguely matching your muscular description did a really cool thing, and you get a D6.
Is that in a movie? I
Thanks.
think that's in a movie or a story. I mean,
Go get him, man! I believe in you.
Go get him, Tiger.
Go get him, Warg.
Oh,
Warg
God.
Bear Man. No pressure, but if you don't get it, I'll be very sad.
Well, I'll do my best.
I mean, I think that sadness is probably the case. It moves pretty quick. Now, I know Gundyr is fast. Remarkably fast, in fact. But so is the tree, so... you're probably... Anyways, in fact, I think, like, there's not a lot else going on, right? Oh, we've got the other tree. That's right. So...
Yeah, when I'm bleeding all over.
Kellyanne just
That's fine.
bled all over it, but did some stabbing too, and it's Willid's turn.
I'm gonna roll an athletics check to see how good of recovery I do. Oh hey, yeah, I like do a combat roll and like roll with it and slide up and stand up and dodge into a bush nearby and make a hide check. I got a 20. Can I shoot it with advantage?
Go for it.
Good.
I mean, I assume, yeah, your bow survived that.
There's a 19 hit.
Yes.
It's another 21 points of damage.
Okay. Okay. All red.
Well, so it's running away. There's another tree that has Kellyanne.
Yes.
I would like to say I have it.
She's got it under control.
And
Yeah, this is going great, guys.
Fast. lost. So
Well, I guess I can throw my spear at the fleeing tree.
Boy, not having spellcasters makes this a lot harder.
Look, I'm working towards it. All right, give me time.
It's like just hit him with the gosh dang fireball.
Is he within range to throw a spear at?
What's your spear range? Probably not. It's probably like 30 feet-ish, 30, 40.
The spears should be 30, 60.
should be able to move. You should be able to move 30 feet and then.
It's fit. I mean, but it's. I mean, I know that that's the case, but it's moving at the same time you are, so you're not like you're catching ground on it.
Right.
But 60 feet is enough.
All right, I throw this with advantage anyway, so even if there's penalties.
So disadvantage for long range, which means you're at normal 1d20 roll.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, that's a 25. That should do it.
It totally hits.
It just does max damage of 10.
Okay.
I don't have my spear.
The spear. You did max damage, right? Yeah, that spear's totally sticking into it.
Yeah.
Was that spear special to you in any way?
Nope.
Well, the spear sticks into the back of it. The tree stumbles a couple of strides, and then like a dark aura that was, in it kind of like covers it a little bit more. And there's like a dark cloud that kind of like springs out from around it, and you see like all of the vegetation around it wither.
Oh my god.
Sauron was right.
Does that mean it's dead?
But then it rights itself and keeps going.
Nope.
It's still limping, if that's relevant.
Oh, wait. Like, what if it's no longer a bad thing? I'm not there.
But I thought the aura got worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of round, it's extra tree time. The only thing that's attacked the extra tree is Kellyan, really. I guess somebody shot it, right? But so it's reaching up into its hair and grabbing Kellyan and chucking him as far as it can. So I assume you want to avoid getting grabbed.
Yeah, is there like do I do dodge or something?
No, you just have an armor class.
Oh, great.
Is your armor class 17?
Yes, it is.
Well, I rolled a 16. Look at that.
Yeah! I won't get tossed and probably dead.
You managed to avoid being grabbed. Good for you.
Woo! Yay! I'm all slippery because of the blood. It's great.
Gundyr.
I'm chasing the tree that's fleeing.
Okay, what's your move?
That might not be a bad idea. My move is 40.
Okay, it is faster than you.
Damn it.
Huck an axe at it.
It's getting away. I will huck a hand axe at it. I'll huck 2 hand axes at it.
Okay, you're going to be at long range, we'll just assume here. So make your attack at disadvantage or whatever.
Right. All right. So does a 17 hit?
It does.
Wow. Way to go, hand axe. Oh hey, another 17. So that's gonna be. So that'll be 10 points of damage for the first axe and 8 points of damage for the second axe.
As they embed in its back.
7, 11, okay. Yes, you've embedded
I'm gonna use
2 hand axes in its back.
I'm gonna lose those axes.
Well, I lost the spear, you lost the axes.
It does not.
I'm gonna
It does not stop moving when you hit it with the 2 axes.
damn it.
It
There's a
seems
lot
to
of
be
enemies.
It seems to be powered by a dark force now. In fact, you all kind of feel like a presence. Especially Kellyan. Side note, your shadow tingling is way past tingling now. It's to whatever is at the other end of tingling.
Pain?
Oh my god. So, am I feeling it off of this tree as well, or is it just from that?
Yeah, but it's
bigger-
mostly off the thing. Although it's rapidly leaving, so it's that'll be helpful. Okay, because of time to make the rest of this short, the tree runs away with some weapons stuck in its back. I'll save those for later. You guys cut down this other tree after that with some axes, and no more party damage.
It's great.
My
And
horse. I go check my horse.
the horse has taken about. It took 30 points of damage, but it can take 30, I think.
I think. What?
On the plus side, I might be able to buy some better axes from the dwarves.
Yes, it is not at 0 hit points or lower yet.
Whew.
The advantage of having a really good horse.
Right.
A normal riding horse would not have survived that.
We'll give my healer's hands to your horse as well.
Yeah, who's hurt?
Everybody. Everybody but me.
And Glirial.
Who's the
And Glirial. Thanks, Glirial. You're the best.
who's the most
I
hurt?
took a lot of hits.
I guess
I did
actually,
21 damage.
one other thing to note is that Glirial did shoot it a bunch more times. I guess it's already run off, but she does not get disadvantage at range, and she has a very long bow, so she does her thing, and it's an impressive archery thing to put some more arrows in it as it runs off.
Right.
Ooh.
Okay, and with that, you guys will limp into Moria at the start of next session.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Hopefully not too much
Awesome.
limping. Gonna use all of my healer's hands for this shit.
That's good because, I'm doing random events for everybody, so I'm sure that random Balrog is not what's going to be on the table for Moria, but whatever it is, you'll probably get involved in it.
Great.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's fine.
And maybe you'll even make it to Rivendell next time, too, right? Like, Moria will just be like, talk for a little bit and then move on. I'm sure
Right.
Go.
Yep.
it'll be fine.
Dive right through it.
I'm sure that no dwarves will get knifed in the night or anything like that.
Nope.
Or Balrogs, or I don't know. Anyways, it's late, so we'll let us save our best things for next time. But thank you everyone for playing, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.
Yeah.